Bananas peanut.
Cyborg penis. Cyborg. What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 206. I'm your host, Anthony Trapani. Got some resident homies with me. I got Joe Horner with me tonight, and we got a very last-minute special pop-in from the professor himself, Joseph K. What up, dude?
What up? I had to come hang out with my homies in Cyborg Octopus.
No doubt, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm gonna start secretly booking all your friends' bands just to make you come back on more.
No, but shout out to you guys. You know, I've been on hiatus. Shout out to you guys for keeping it going. Really appreciate it.
Nice,
I was
dude.
sure if it would work
Fuck
without
yeah.
me, but you still make the flyers without me, which is cool.
Yeah, dude, they figured it out.
Casey
I still
doesn't
don't do shit
Casey-
in that department.
Casey had to end up doing it because I was taking too much time on it, and work is bananas for me right now. And he's like, it's like Wednesdays, like, you got it? And I'm like, yeah, dude, if I get there right before I can do the fly. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, now you know how I feel.
But yeah,
Anyway.
dude, it's cool as fuck to have the professor back. And tonight we're joined by Josh and Bobby from Cyborg Octopus. What up, dudes?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Very, very good. Back to the normal schedule. We're on a Thursday again. Last week was a great episode. If you guys haven't checked it out, we got to catch up with the Retromorphosis Spawn of Possession dudes and Christian. Had a great time with those guys. But yeah, so we're back to normal schedule and kicking it off with you guys. I actually, I'm going to be totally honest up front, dude. I always saw your guys' name and I never actually dove in until... That's what's great about this show is it forces me to check out bands that I should have checked out earlier because, man, that new album, I was having a fucking great time this week listening to it. I listened to it multiple times, dude, and even got my brother into it. And normally to get my brother to give a good review of any recommendation from me is few and far between. And he came to work today. I was like, oh, dude, that shit was good. And I was like, yes, dude, I got one.
Spread the virus.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I mean, it's just a great blend of all these elements of metal that I love, on their own. And when they're and you found a way to, mix it together to keep me engaged the whole time and actually have a lot of fun with it. So this is awesome to be able to talk to you guys tonight about it now. I should have been on the Cyborg Octopus bandwagon a long time ago, and here I am, new guy on the train. What's up? Let's hit the fucking drink cart. Let's do this.
Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, actually for me too, my internet's saying it's really better now, so hopefully this comes through. But for me, being Sacramento and stuff and living there for 5 or 6 years, got to see you guys on a lot of bills, like that whole scene with like you guys, Flub. There's a few other bands that were the Kennedy Vale, obviously. There's a band called Journal back in the day. You guys probably remember Journal, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible band. Yeah.
Yeah, I randomly saw that band. I remember in 2011 because I moved there. I had 2 stints there, one for a year, one for 4 or 5 years, and I randomly went to a venue. You guys know the name of it. It's like something called something Couch now, but it used to be something Lighter or something. I don't know what it's called. Something
Blue Lamp, maybe?
Blue Lamp. No, it was more like, not to get too deep on it, but it was like off Greenback somewhere.
All you SAC
Say it
people,
again.
all you non-SAC people don't know.
Was it that biker spot?
That was the
damn it.
Room?
It's called Fire. So I remember it's like something Fire. But anyways, it was like in a strip mall, and it was it was awesome, man. And yeah, Journal just randomly came out, and I'm like, okay, a band named Journal, like, okay, let's check it out. And then Gabe was the one who brought me there. He's like, check this shit out, and I was like, it was like Dillinger, like kind of on crack with like math metal, and I was like, who the fuck are these guys? These guys are a local band. Like, this is like one of these crazy bands that you never expect to hear them in more of a bigger sense, but they're like, oh, they're opening for this other band, and you're like, what the, this band's insane. But yeah, you guys, and shout out some other bands out there. There's the one, I can't think of names right now, Odious Construct,
for sure. I mean, same with Journal. Justin's a good friend of ours, and he's one of the craziest drummers I've ever seen. Like, to be able to play that music is just unreal.
Did they ever do anything with it? Did they ever go farther with it?
You know, it's funny. I sort of took a few years off in college from playing music and got back into it maybe like longer ago than I'd like to admit. But my bass player at the time, who now plays guitar in a band called Donna Boroboros, I remember getting back into it. He's like, dude, you have to listen to this band Journal. And I was like, well, I'll never be that good. So like, why am I even doing this? Like, and it's the same deal. They're like local band. I think they did some tours. They were definitely like, they got on all the 6 shows back, you know, maybe like 10, 12 years ago. You know, Waste Walker's been out there forever. They're awesome. Yeah, there's a whole host of sack bands.
It's real quick, just to cut you off because of what you just said about how you felt when you came across Journal, and you'll be like, I'm never going to be that good. There's a certain, you know, we have idols as musicians, right? And ones that you aren't in your immediate bubble. You can look up to them and just be like, oh yeah, that's fine. But when you see a dude or a band in your inner circle, your scene that is just steps ahead of you, that's a real fire under your ass to get to work, you know?
Yeah.
Get playing, because you see it in action. Everybody has their, you know, home club, their home turf, and if guys keep showing up and showing how what they've been doing since the last time they've been playing, you got to come with something sick too. That's what's cool about having like a collective or a bubble of musicians, that a hot spot like Sacramento or the Bay Area. You know, like Sac is the newest bubble up in Cali death scenes, right? And I think that's because of the touring. It's not because of the touring schedules, but Sacramento is now the number one Northern California spot to hit when you're routing a tour. It's not the Bay anymore, for at least for
big
music.
bands. It is. Yeah, for big bands, they still hit the Bay, and I'm like, dude, if it's in Sac, I'll drive like another hour and a half or whatever to go to Sac and like see a sick show, like, rather than go like park my car like in the Tenderloin and be like, all right, cool, dude, let's go. Like, let's chance it. Fuck yeah, that's fun. Sounds really, really cool to go do that. Like I always have a great time and just a mellow, fun time in Sacramento. It's always been like, to me, like what I wish San Francisco was.
Well, it used to be.
Well,
yeah.
If I can hop in, I think San Francisco is kind of coming back.
Yeah.
I think the last year it's coming back, and I've been to shows. I played there for the first time with these gentlemen, in fact, and that venue, the Parkside, is really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I think San Francisco has a claim. I think it stayed a little bundled up longer than a lot of other areas after the pandemic, but I think it's starting to open again in terms of shows. That being said, not always the friendliest
environment
crew, but still.
Half of what I'm saying is opinion, you know, because we always talk about the clubs that used to be that aren't here now from either before or during and after the pandemic, you know, but also just noticing all these tours that happen. And I would say that the Sacramento area is more frequent on underground tours now, especially the what is it, Goldfields in Roseville. That spot's a sick little venue that I'm starting to see more tour packages being booked there. But at the Bay, I mean, they still have great venues. I mean, that Igor show still showed that Great American Music Hall is still a classic, great
Yeah.
show every time you go there. You
Sound
know,
is good there too. Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I would
yeah.
shout out the Parkside's great. I think just did you do Neck of the Woods in San Francisco? That venue's been great to us.
I went to the Parkside and saw you there at the Grey Lotus show, but it was
that's right.
It was Neck of the Woods that we played, so I got those mixed
Yep.
up.
Yeah,
Neck of the
and,
Woods.
you know,
I've never been to, but I've heard everybody talk about it and people praise
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, that spot rules.
Yeah.
And
well,
yeah.
you know, from what I've heard, and I don't know how true this is, but from what I've heard, venues at the sort of the smaller capacity levels weren't for a long time doing guaranteed shows. So there was sort of a move away from booking in San Francisco. But I think a couple people, I'll shout out Danny at Neck of the Woods, who's awesome, who's had us at that venue a couple of times, are willing to stick their neck out a little bit and take a risk on a smaller metal tour that comes through.
No pun intended.
Yeah, very fair, very fair. And I am hopeful too, just that's coming back because I love the Sacramento shows, but I don't even think for San Francisco you need it. But for people that live in San Jose, going to Sacramento adds another hour to that, or coming from even further south like Santa Cruz and places like that. So I do think to the extent, and it's a city, it's a fun place to go see a show, get drinks with your friends ahead of time, things like that. So there's a certain energy to that that's really cool. I don't know if you guys ever went to Slim's growing up, but we missed that venue.
Oh, totally.
Slim's was
for sure.
Got to play there a couple times. That was
that's
definitely
awesome.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
we go backstage and there'd be like Gene Hoglan from Death and like all these people backstage like what the fuck is going on right now?
Eric
But yeah, no,
Rutan's
Slim's
in
was,
one room, Gene Hoglan's in another room.
yeah, that's some pretty fucked up days there. But that's Slim's, it's now what's it called, like YOLO Club or something, right?
I know it's the saddest death ever, from Sims, this legendary small cap like rock venue, to like YOLO, an EDM club.
I don't know, dude. And all the longtime listeners are gonna be like, "Here he goes, dude." But I would argue that the Pound was the worst death for underground death metal, dude. It went from the Pound to being a plant nursery, And I have a customer at my shop that he's also he knows the Severed guys and he's a fan of the podcast. Shout out Paul. And he had gone there just out of curiosity and talked to the people that work there, and he said, "Can I just go into the venue room and just take a peek?" And it's exactly the way that it was. It's like how you like an abandoned house. An abandoned house, just when people leave shit, just like he took pictures of it and I saw pictures. I'm like, damn, dude, that's just so sad and kind of creepy that all that energy is in that room and nobody is going there to experience it. It has nowhere to go. It's just stuck there, dude. It's storage now.
Well, and I think before it became a venue, I believe it was a strip club. So my very first show ever, I was like 14 or 15. I played at a Battle of the Bands at the Pound. And,
nice.
And a couple people on this pod know I cannot sing, but I sang and played Master of Puppet in that set. It was awesome. But I believe it was a strip club because the backstage area, if I recall, was like the private dance area. Like there was the stage, and then to the side of it, there was like you poles for the lap dances, and that's where you stashed your cases and your drum cases and stuff.
There was.
That's a good call. That might be the saddest Bay Area death.
I mean, Slim's had some great fucking shows come through there.
Yeah, for me, Slim's was like, it wasn't equal, but there were some of the shows that made me go like, okay, I want to be in a band. I want to do this. Slim's was one of those places where I saw Cannibal and Cephalic and all these bands where I'm just like, fuck. Like I still remember like Slim's, like watching Cannibal and like the opening bands, like some band gets to open for Cannibal, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I wonder how much fucking money they're making, dude. They're probably crushing it. Like in my head, I was like just a kid going like, they're probably like fucking making so much money doing what they love. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward like 10 years later, and I'm playing with Belly. I just going like, all right, dude, can I make enough to like eat for the night? It's like,
Is there an extra slice of pizza? Can I eat your crust?
yeah.
Dude, but I will say I'll give Slims this though. They had a variety of shows that weren't just metal that I went to go see there as well. I mean, I saw Blue Oyster Cult there. I seen some hip hop shows there. The Pound was more consistent with just underground metal. So Slims has got a point in the sense that they had a variety of good shit. Dude, fucking Lee's in the chat, dude. What up, Lee?
He's a bona fide dumpster fire or whatever.
Just
East Coast of
that's
go back to Masquerade.
I'm representing. What up?
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude, all right.
Yeah, that was
It was great, dude. So you were 14 or 15 at a what other bands do you remember played that Battle of the Bands?
The only one that I remember was like, you know, I mean, I was like a Metallica kid, Metallica, Ozzy, Iron Maiden type. So like, you know, hardcore death metal. I had no idea at the time, but if I had to guess,
Do you remember a band called Noradrenaline? Do you remember hearing that name, Noradrenaline?
I'm not sure that I do. I do remember one of the bands that we played with was called Habitual Murder, H187 for short, which I thought was the coolest name. It was like, dude was, you know, yoked out of his mind, like, you know, rocking the beater and like just covered in tattoos. But he had this tiny little chihuahua and just was just walking around the venue the entire time, and then got on and did like probably something that like was like, you know, like a Crowbar set. Like that was sort of the band, the style. It was yeah. So you know,
that's rad.
H187.
Yeah, I guess there was multiple Battle of the Bands. I mean, there's a Battle of the Bands that Animosity played there. They were about that same age, 15, 16 or something like that. And that band Noradrenaline that I just mentioned, some of those guys went on to do some other cool shit. But yeah, dude, I mean, great little environment for some dorky metal kids to get together and you know, rub elbows and talk shit about the same. Finding somebody who's into the same shit you're into when you're in a fucking high school, you're one of 3 kids that wear metal shirts or something, you know, to find a whole group of people, you're just like, yes, dude, I finally found my place, you know.
100%.
Well, we should fucking plug some shit, dude. We got off on a tangent there. Let's do some plugs real quick. Battleforgecoffee.com. That's the homies in Deeds of Flesh, and bringing you some roasted goodness and swag. We love the dudes who are a part of the company, and we love their coffee. And if you're down with underground death metal and coffee, what better place to get it from than battleforgecoffee.com. Generator Rehearsal Studios. Dude, oh, you don't have the I didn't know things on the bottom aren't there. Generator Rehearsal. The scroll.
Dude. Scroller.
Dude, I'm missing Casey. Casey will be with us at some point.
No, I usually do those, but I just wanted to put a mug over the face of everyone. It's funny to me.
GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com, Oceanside, California, a physical spot to go and get crazy, wicked, sick with your metal band or whatever kind of band you play. You can go get down at GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com. All right. Now, Joseph, you got some plugs or a plug?
Yeah. So I want to sell the Cali Death merch inventory. And have you guys mentioned that there's a change in the frequency of episodes, or have you not said anything?
We haven't yet. I was actually going to bring that up too this episode.
Okay. Well, from what I understand, you're going to half the number of episodes from every week to every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And in conjunction with this announcement, which I don't know when it actually starts, we're also going to half the price of merch. So enter the discount code HALF HALF to get half off your
Dude.
Cali Death t-shirt.
Yeah, we're trying to move that shit.
Yeah. And
No, so all right. Now that you mentioned that, I will just sorry, Joseph, whatever you had to go finish.
yeah, and I shipped the last order to Ryan. I think it was Ryan Lane. It had been ordered on July 7th, and I just shipped it. So shout out Ryan. Very sorry that my shirt order was 6 months late, but
shout out Ryan.
But now
You're
there's
a human
no
plugin.
there's no orders, and we still have a lot of shirts. So
we haven't been plugging merch in the last few episodes. So.
We didn't know if we had any left.
There's a crazy good deal. You can get, I think the black shirt is $10 on this deal. The other shirt's going to be $12.50. So for the holidays, get your loved ones some Cali Death t-shirts. And get 2 of them because they're half, you know?
Yeah. And hopefully it'll get there in time for Christmas after he just said it took him 6 months to send the last one.
It pays our water. Yeah, it pays our water bill, our water bottle bill. We get like 2 water pieces, bottles of water every month.
But that's all my plugs. All
right. So since the professor brought that up, yeah, and we'll be mentioning it over December for and it's still not going to get to everybody because we gotta eventually make a statement on social media, but we really do truly love doing this show. It has been a great addition to the last 4 years of all of our lives as resident homies, kicking it with you guys every single week in the chat and seeing everybody's enthusiasm about the show. And so with that being said, life is stacking up for all of us, and it is getting harder to stay as consistent. Even though we have been, it's harder to do these things with how life is with all of us every single week. So starting in 2025 in January, we are gonna split the amount of episodes in half over the next year. So it's gonna be a bi-monthly podcast every 2 weeks.
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly would be 2 a week, wouldn't it?
No, it's
bi-monthly would be 2 in a month.
Bi-monthly. People that get the paychecks bi-monthly versus bi-weekly. No.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, bi-weekly, bi-monthly. I guess so. That would mean like what, 8 episodes a year? No, we're not going to cut it down that much. But yeah, expect we'll still bring quality, and maybe that'll even help us, be more strategic with our guests and more fresh. I mean, you guys might not notice it, but sometimes these things can take a toll on us, dude. Especially Joel. I don't know if you were saying that on the pod or pre-pod, but saying you were trying your hardest to get off of a 4-hour plus episode at the end, and then you meet a mountain lion. You're like, if mountain lions are coming, dude, I shouldn't be up at this hour. But yeah, it's again, we love it very much. We want to keep doing it, and just to make it to where we still have that enthusiasm and make it work better with our lives, we're gonna have to do every other week. We love you guys, and I'm sorry if that pisses anybody off, but 4 years of consistency doing all but 8 or 9 weeks in that 4 years, that's crazy, right? A couple weeks a year, that's all we took off. But yeah, so just giving you a heads up. Back to Cyborg Octopus. I almost fucked up the first word.
Is the place where you guys get your get Cyborg merch, is it Silent Pendulum Records? Is that the main place for people to get your stuff?
Yes. Online, that is the way. We obviously have stuff when we're out on the road, but all of that you can buy at the Silent Pendulum website.
Hell yeah. Let me get that out there. Okay. Boom.
And any
So
other social media plugs or anything you guys want to throw out there?
Totally. We're mostly at Cyborg Octopus Band across everything. So that is our Instagram, that is our Facebook, that is our TikTok. Josh does a lot of cute dances on the TikTok to try to, entice the youth. YouTube as well. If you want to send us an email, cyborgoctopusband@gmail.com. We can, provide fax numbers and an address for smoke signals later. But yeah, you can find us just about everywhere.
Nice.
Awesome.
Hell
yeah, you guys have been hustling, man. I mean, we did a 4-day tour with Last of Lucy in March, and since then you've done 2 U.S. tours, or maybe about a third of the U.S. each tour, and you pretty much covered most of the states in this year, and touring with some pretty sick bands. And it's just been exciting to see you guys kind of maturing into a serious touring act.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
Well,
man.
Maybe not mature, but you know what I mean.
I was going to say, don't tell us.
Let Josh speak. Let Josh speak. He hasn't spoken at all yet. Josh, go.
Yeah, Josh.
I don't want to talk anymore. No, I'm kidding. The Tomerum run was really cool in the East Coast. That was our band's first time out there, and our label lent us a van and a trailer and a backline.
Nice.
Oh, lost him on audio.
Keep talking.
I'm trying to.
Oh, it's over. He's cooked.
Can you hear? Can you? So he understands now too.
Is it,
Can you hear us, dude?
I'll turn this off.
You guys
Oh,
can
no,
hear?
no. Try not now.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
We lost you for a second
There it
there. Yeah.
Yeah, our label basically lent us an entire backline, a van, a trailer, and all that stuff I think we did like 2.5 weeks with Tomerum. And we just started in New York, did a whole loop, went back to Chicago and all that stuff, and then kind of looped back over. It was sick. And then we did that Archaic run where we played a festival in Canada that was like the biggest show we've ever played. I think what the hell is that called? Bobby.
Armstrong Metal Fest.
Metal Fest, that's what it was called, yeah. And I think it was our third time to Canada, but it was the first time not like playing anywhere besides Vancouver. So it was sick to see the rest of Canada. There was some crazy drives with some crazy mountains that we got to drive through that.
Yeah.
And Tim Hortons, obviously. Sick.
Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
Hell
Tim
yeah.
Hortons.
Shout out Tim Hose.
Yeah. And you guys are fun to watch every night. You guys have some gimmicky aspects, but not to sell it short, like very, very entertaining. But then the music is very serious to back it up. So I just want to shout it out. If Cyborg Octopus are coming to town and you're a Cali Death fan, you're going to see that show. Definitely. Yeah. And they always tour with great bands like Archaic, Tomerum, the top tier bands, dude.
Are you guys I thought you guys. I was driving home from work because work's been fucking bananas lately. But I was driving home. Were you guys the band that has the guy with the mask on that sings with the mouth that moves, the horse mouth that moves along with the band? The singer has like a horse mouth, like a unicorn thing on, and he sings like a.
Joel, put up the train wreck thing for yourself right now, dude.
No,
I'm not aware of.
Is it not you guys? I mean, I was thinking it wasn't you guys, but I was like,
I think you might be thinking of Princess Kitten, another Sacramento band, actually.
oh, okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, yeah, I was seeing
Those
like
are friends of ours as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing like that band that like always stuck in my head because you said like maybe there was possible like stuff that you guys do on stage, and I was like, okay, was it? Wait a minute, is that you guys? That's not you guys. So my brain just went, I'm 40. Fuck you guys.
You said the name of that band was Princess Kitten?
I'm pretty sure that's who you're talking about with the Cybertronic horse. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just
That's
throwing
a
a horse random like horse. Just a horse sings. I don't know what's going on, but no, definitely.
Some of the old club guys, some of the old Odious Construct guys, and a band called Life at a Party from back in the day. Kind of the mashup of those three bands, and they're full, basically furry outfits playing. They're awesome.
That's sick.
I just the guy, the singer, just remember like his mouth moved.
his mouth moved.
Oh, sorry, I turned off your echo.
I turned off your echo cancellation.
It was cutting out sometimes when you were talking, so I was trying to fix it on the fly. But yeah, the mouth was like moving along with him singing, and I'm like, I don't think I ever saw that live though. So I was like, I don't know, I was kind of confused. Anyways, back to the thing.
So wait, you said that the label lent you a van, a trailer, and all your equipment?
Yeah. So I brought what did I bring? I brought my cymbals, my pedals, and my throne. I think that was all I brought. And my trick module and all that stuff. But
And then what about like cabs and shit? Did they that too?
Yeah, they give us cabs. Did you bring your head, Bobby? You brought your Kemper, right? Yeah.
That's wild. I just never heard of that, dude. I mean,
that's right.
Most record labels are just like figure it out, dude.
We're on a super delay, by the way, guys. So we gotta work this out.
It's all good.
A lot of credit to the guys at South Curriculum. They're awesome to work with, and they're all musicians themselves, so they give a shit. It worked out super well. So yeah, that made I think that tour would have happened either way, but it made it far easier and far more possible to get out there. And one band we didn't mention that we definitely want to shout out that we played with was Archaeologist, our buddy Kyle.
Shout out Kyle. Dude. Kyle's a great dude.
Yeah.
Previous guest on the show.
They were on this year. Indeed. This year's incredible touring slate for us. You're right, Jess. We get to play with some really cool bands, yours included. Many of yours included. But yeah.
Yep. And more in the future, hopefully.
No doubt.
Yeah.
More bands, just like 19 of your bands.
Yeah. I actually want to have a festival that's just all my bands. And I play like
Dude,
8
the
sets.
Professor Fest. The Professor.
Like you and Gabe Sieber just for the drummers for like a huge festival.
Yeah.
The Professed, dude.
There's a Joseph stage and there's a Siebe stage, and we just do back-to-back sets.
We do like a Nicolas Cage face-off movie poster, and it's just Joseph's and Gabe's faces.
Hell yeah.
That would be a nightmare for you, dude. Do you think you would be how many? Okay. If you, Professor, if you woke up one day and all your bands decided for this to happen, they really wanted this fest to happen, how would you feel, and do you think you would be capable of playing a full day of all the bands that you're in, dude?
Okay, so I play bass in a couple bands, so I'd need to kind of space the drumming out.
That would be yeah.
I legit think I could do it, but I would regret it the next day. But I think I could get through it. I mean, people do like 3-hour Broadway shows and stuff. That's a lot more activity. I think, yeah. The thing is, my lower back would not be happy the next day. I would have an ice pack, definitely. But
yeah,
I would actually like to do it. I'm enough of a performer that I would love the spotlight for that much time. So
that's crazy, dude. Just to think of that would actually be fun and never done. It's never been done.
I've heard of
a festival based on well, I mean, like, yeah, I've been to shows like, for example, John Zorn had a multi-night thing where a bunch of his projects came together, but he wasn't performing with all the bands. He would just pop in, do something, and pop out. And so, but as a performer that would stay on stage with all these different projects throughout a whole entire festival day, sounds like it. I don't think it's ever been done.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. My buddy, oh my God. Okay, I have a friend. He did a 4-band show where he was the drummer of all 4 bands. So I could see that. I'm not gonna push it any further than that. But
that's like 15% of your catalog, though. You know, it's like 4 bands. You got like 4 times that.
We're exaggerating here. We're
I know.
we're
So,
not in
okay,
touch
so
with
what
reality
okay,
anymore.
okay, then let's be real. What's the actual number? We keep talking. You guys, we're talking the same way you guys talk about how many kids I have is the way we talk about how many bands Professor has.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
7.
It depends on who you talk to. Joel always says 7.
Imagine a
No,
day
he's
where
got
Anthony
3.
has to hang out with all his kids.
Yeah, dude. It's
Just turn him into
I got
Anthony
3 kids and a new pup, dude. So technically 4 children now.
and 1 wife. The way that Joseph made that sound, there's multiple wives. There's depending on
Yeah.
there's 1 wife.
Oh yeah,
3 kids. He's a good dad.
Which, by the way, how is there any Mormon death metal? Like,
I was just gonna say, does this make Joseph the Warren Jeffs of the death metal scene?
all of his bands are his sister wives, dude, and he just like works with them when they're on their period or when they're menstruating. Like that's when his bands are as hot during the month. Is they practice some oaths during the menstruations.
Damn.
The mucus is viscous.
Yeah.
That's a good band name.
That would be hilarious. And they all live in one giant house, and Joseph's just annoyed with everything and everyone, and everybody wants attention. Practice with me. Practice with me.
All right. I know I said I like the spotlight, but let's get away from it now. I wanna hear the origin stories, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Ask
hear
him.
Cyborg has a weird origin story because the guy who founded the band is, as far as I remember, not in the band anymore. Is that the case?
Yeah. So it was founded by a couple guys in high school. Our only original member that's still in the band is Ian, our singer. And then it was him. I think you're referring to David, our old guitar player. I joined right after they had done an EP, but before we had done our first record. And then we released that first record. And then we got Josh after that first record, but before the second. And then before the second, our guitar player, who's a buddy of ours, we still love. He just wanted to do other stuff. Sort of music wasn't his passion anymore. And that record was sort of a half kind of transitionary period. And then our bass player at the time, who's also our homie and we still love, George, he took off to become a therapist. And he is and our current bass player, Max, he came on for our third record. And that's the lineup that we have. I'm not totally sure when the most important member of our band, the saxophone, guitar, sex god, joined. I want to say it was certainly before me, but I don't think he was an original band member. So he was like maybe right around when they recorded the very, very first EP. So that was an ass backwards way of telling the history of the band, but that's
That's rad. So, okay, aside from origin stories of the band, because we're going to get back into that, we like to get you guys to give us your own personal origin story. So you, Bobby, you came in first into the fold of the band? Okay, so then we'll just start with you, dude. Take us back to childhood. Where did you grow up, and what was the earliest memory you can come up with where you linked with music in a different way or linked with art in a different way than previous?
Totally. Yeah. I'm originally from San Jose, California, which is about an hour south of San Francisco, where I currently live. I can remember exactly. I played soccer, still do, but was like a soccer player as a kid and then through high school. And my coach at the time, massive, like sort of, Iron Maiden, Dokken, Metallica fan. And I remember hearing that music it just clicked with me, and it was like, oh, that's so cool. I think sort of like the riffs and the stuff getting stuck in your ear. I had more as like sort of an extracurricular thing. My parents maybe had a guitar, didn't really love it, but that was the bug. It was probably like 7th or 8th grade. And I heard, some like, Power Slave and Master of Puppets and Injustice for All. And it's like one of those things where you start, you get bit by the bug. You learn the first thing. It's like, oh, cool, I can do this. And then you try to get the next thing, and you try to sort of, chase that dragon. And then, decades later, I'm here and I got carpal tunnel. That's the deal.
So it was Metallica. That was the band that really set the hooks in for you.
It was them. It's tough to nail it down. From like a sort of really connecting with music, for sure, Metallica was a big one. From the guitar playing and like why I really wanted to be a guitar player, it was Ozzy, it was Eddie Van Halen. And
what type of music were your parents listening to around the house?
They didn't, no one in my family is super musical. My dad's a classic rock guy. My mom's a little more of a disco queen. But it was one of those things where, it wasn't a particularly musical.
They just trust the radio. Just turn on the radio, whatever comes on, they're into it.
Totally. There were some 80s bands. My dad was a big fan of the Cars, the Pretenders, sort of like, I guess, what would you call that? Like new wave 80s pop, which that stuff's sick, to be honest with you. But so,
I'm down.
But it wasn't, I wouldn't say that they're, I'm like a straight to my veins, give me that music type of guy. That wasn't really my folks. But yeah. So it was more I kind of found that metal thing through my soccer coach and from, my friends at the time. And
what about siblings? You got any siblings?
I do. My little brother, I made him my bass player for about a year and a half in college. He's a great bass player, but as I feel like most bass players do, he sort of moved away from metal stuff and now just loves funk.
Nice.
Well,
as a bass player, that makes sense.
Totally. It's like all of the fun, all of the show off. And then, And then my sister wasn't super musical. She did play piano for a bit as a kid. But she, I think moved away from that sort of more into sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. That's so soccer was your kind of like caveat into metal. That's because it's funny because for me, like that's for our show and stuff, like carrying like different ways in, and because it's funny because it's kind of, I don't want to say it's a cult, but like once you're in kind of thing. It's kind of like once you're like, and it's, I've said it a few times on here, like once my brother like saw what I was listening to, he's like, you're fucked. Like this is your life now.
Yeah.
He's like, once you get like in that kind of realm, you're kind of like that's what you're going to be like involved in now. And it's funny because I just got into soccer about a year ago, and because my wife is like a sick soccer player, and so I get to watch her fucking play all these like these leagues around town and stuff, and she's like a badass defensive soccer player, and I'm like, all right, I didn't understand the rules and all the things, and like actually getting to give it a chance. And that's what I think with metal too is a big thing. A lot of people are like, there's you want to show them the sickest thing you found so far, but you gotta start with something simple. You can't just like jump into like, dude, Spawn of Possession is the sickest, you gotta check out Spawn of, and it's just like, to them they'll just be like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like they'll listen to it and it's like sounds like algebra to them. It's like, cool, dude, let's like you need to start with something that hits you, do a progression. That's what soccer, I went through the kind of the same phase with soccer where I was like, all right, soccer sucks, all right, it's kind of cool now, all right, like I understand it, all right, now I'm watching my wife play it, all right, like I'm getting like all the offside, I get all the rules now. And once you understand like all the rules and everything that's going on, now it's like, okay, well, soccer doesn't suck now. What the fuck? Like I'm 30, I'm 40, and now soccer doesn't suck. Like my whole life.
Real quick, let's go into the soccer weeds just for a second, because the last time that I, or one of the last times you and I hung out in person, Joel, we met at Thunder Valley, and your lady was at the bar watching something on the TV, and I went up to say hi to her, and then I was watching what she was watching, and it was this weird form of soccer where there was, I don't know, maybe three or four different goals.
3 goals.
And it's multiple kind of teams but I don't know how the rules work with something like that.
I know exactly how
dude.
they work.
So
it's just three teams. This is three teams that are like, so your goal, you don't want to get any goals scored on your goal, and it's like a circle.
it's just
Yeah, it's just
basically
a new
if
stuff.
you have the ball, if your team has the ball, the other two teams are defense. But do they work together, or do they still like
Depends on who's
stay-
in the lead.
Yeah,
It's got a cool little format to it. It's definitely American ADH soccer, like ADHD. I'm sorry. It's like no, we need more, dude. There's too much kick in, and it's like it's Americans going like, dude, we need like fucking arena. I mean, there already is arena soccer, but like we need like
yeah.
3 teams fight. It's like such an American idea, just going like we need like more action, and it is really action packed, but it is such an American take on like the old school game, which is just, yeah, it's not a lot going on, but there is, if you understand what's going on, which, Osa is always telling me everything that's going on. Like, pass outside, what the fuck you do? Like she's telling me like everything that's going on. She was a coach for the high school out here too and stuff. So like I get to hear like everything that's going on. I'm like, oh, okay, I have like an
She
eye on what's
coaches
going
now?
on. Oh, she coached for years. She coached a lot of high schools around my in Santa Cruz.
But is this the first year that she's coaching for this high school?
No, she's not. She's not coaching anymore. She coached
I
for a
thought you
long
said you
time.
did.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So she coached for a long time though, and but understanding that game, it's like, all right, doesn't suck. Like actually, it's. I mean, there's people that fake things that I'm like, all right, dude. I mean,
game doesn't
basketball,
suck.
same thing though.
Americans kind of suck at it.
Americans just need attention now. Everything, but and it's funny because soccer's making its first push into America right now. It's like since Messi came and all these kind of like, I don't know. Do you still follow soccer at all, Bobby? I don't want to go off on a tangent.
Not
already did.
it's funny. It's a sport, and I think because it's only recently become sort of ubiquitous on TV, you can actually follow it. But like when I was a kid and I played, like you couldn't find a game. You'd have to get up at like 6 a.m. on a Sunday to catch one English Premier League. So
Yep.
I am shamefully not as close a soccer fan as I would like to be, but that's just a result of like sort of what I grew up with.
Being away from it too, you can't watch it, so it's like I'll just read about it in the paper. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, root for it in the paper? Like, go. Like, there's no in America, you can't really watch it.
You're totally right, though. It's like and I had a similar experience with sports too, where it's like you sort of you learn how to do the new thing, or you understand something, and it's a great feeling, and you chase that feeling, and that's how your brother being like, you're fucked. You just go down that road. I swear, it's like drugs, man. It's like, it's like, well, that guy, he smoked the devil's lettuce once and now he's a bum on the street. It's totally true, dude. It's totally true because like no one starts listening to like some like brutal grind ass band, but it's, oh, that was heavy. That was cool. Like the double bass part in one. And then it's like, oh, what other double bass parts can you find? And then it's like, all right, well now Slayer's cool. Slayer's a little bit heavy. And you just kind of go down, down the hill. Yeah, that's
and then you do have the random Von Stoffy who fucking his first death metal band he ever listens to is Defeated Sanity.
Like a jazz player that was like, this is crazy. And you're like, that's kind of what you always want though, because a lot because once you're so far down the rabbit hole, you see these bands that are just like, what the fuck, this is so cool, and you want to show it to someone that doesn't understand, but to show them the band that's like so far along to a person that's not listening to metal very frequently, and they'll just be like, all right, well, I like Korn, but like they'll be like, the fuck, like this is not, to have a musician that's as professional as Vaughn and just be like, oh damn, Defeated Sanity, like start with Defeated Sanity. It's like, no, don't even take the train to like their Korn, Slayer, whatever you need to go through to get there. He just,
but I think
go like
a music like jazz though, and going deep with that and really studying that kind of might naturally unlock some things in musical language that would make a jazz player understand something about death metal, especially if it's played like Defeated Sanity, which is very jazz influenced. I mean, I'm sure maybe Vaughn, his first introduction to Defeated would be Lille's drums, where he would connect with that because you could find jazz in that very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
definitely. I mean, it's definitely just
Plug a human
it's,
bond.
it's like hearing Bobby talk about like, well, playing soccer, and then through that I got like metal and stuff. It's like so many different avenues.
That's
of,
a unique.
finding-
That's a unique way in, Bobby. 206 episodes in. It's usually a friend, an uncle, a cousin, a brother.
Josh is
maybe
like, fuck,
maybe a
friend money.
parent.
Damn.
But an art teacher or something. But then your coach. Of all people, your sports coach is what gave you some music to click with, and I think that's unique as shit, dude. We've never heard that on the show,
Totally, and he's the man. Steve Redondo, he still coaches like really high level like club soccer down, I believe in the South Bay, although he might have moved out by Josh in Reno. But yeah, no, dude was the biggest Maidenhead, so he had like the sickest. Like every club he played professional soccer himself. So he had every club from like, the European leagues, but like the one-off Iron Maiden versions that like they would do back in the day. So he had like the Newcastle Iron Maiden jersey and like the Southampton, super, super cool. And I don't remember the exact story, but I think he was in a band with some of the guys in Dawkin growing up, which was, so he was like the most 80s metal guy you can imagine. And Josh will appreciate this. He had godlike calves. His calves were magnificent.
He could have said anything right there.
Yeah.
I was expecting something totally different.
He has a 13-inch penis. Josh appreciates. He has a 13-inch penis.
Josh, you're gonna appreciate this, dude.
I can only assume based on the calf size alone.
Dude's got a hammer. Yeah, it's like a running tiny ass calves, which he does. They're very small. He has like child-sized legs, and the rest of his body is like jacked.
Skipping leg day, dude.
Really good
leg day.
He does like.
I hurt myself doing leg day.
That's what sucks. My dad was a bodybuilder back when he was, in his 20s and stuff, and was like got all buff, and like Frank. He would just sit there. Yeah, Frank would just sit there and work on his legs because he was like didn't want to be that guy, and it's like it's fucking genetic, dude. I swear, I'm doing all the leg workouts with all the other bodybuilders, and they are not growing. Like he even did steroids, and like back in the sorry, Dad, in the 70s and 80s, like because of Arnold, like all that stuff with Arnold back in the day. He was like they were all chasing that. It was kind of like the thing. They were going to at the gym, 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And
who wouldn't chase that if Arnold's telling you that when he lifts, it's like having orgasms in his biceps, dude. And you're just like, yeah, I want to have orgasms in my biceps.
As he's holding like two bikini models, like, yeah, right? Yeah, it's what Arnold says you should do.
That's also genetics too, though. Arnold is genetics. Like seeing his body, it's like, dude, steroids won't do that for anyone. It's not going to give you that. Like, you have to, obviously, a lot of people too say like, oh, just they're on steroids, and they're like, I was watching a documentary about steroids, and they're like, they have to work for it still. It's not like they just go like, all right, I'm done, and they just
how hilarious would that be if you saw photos of his family and everybody's jacked, even his mom, fucking a newborn baby's got fucking crazy biceps,
like traps and
perfect jaw lines, fucking.
So Bobby's jacked or what? So Bobby's like a girl jacked or what?
Well, I mean, thinks he's a bodybuilder because your dad had small legs.
You got to make up for your dad's small legs.
You got to make up for my dad's small legs right now, Bob.
Come on. We believe in you.
That's awesome, though.
I'm calling her.
So
say it again.
He's gonna get.
We keep talking over. Josh has this like when we speak, his shit gets muted.
Let me see if my headphones will work.
Oh yeah, headphones. 100% headphones.
100%
headphones. 100%.
Is that better?
Whoa.
Oh no, I can make it work. I can make it work.
Make it work, dude.
Okay, go. How about now?
Is this good? Everybody good?
That's okay.
How about now?
A little bit.
Ah!
Okay.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Penis. No, it's good.
Cool.
Poop. Where's the
Poop.
fucking keister?
How many orders did you ship with FedEx today, Josh?
I did 97, and I had like 312 boxes.
Damn.
Oh, that's just the business route. The residential routes will take out like 180 to like 240 stops.
Oh, fuck,
The classic question, dude, when you're in the residential, any dog situations where shit was not chill?
I mean, I love dogs, but I if there's a gate that's closed and there's a dog inside of it, I do not open the gate. It's just I'm just like, I'm not even gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not fucking with dogs. I've only ever been bit by a dog once, and it was a fucking Chihuahua, and it just like bit the toe of I had steel toes on. I was like, brother, can you come get your fucking dog? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah.
What is it with Chihuahuas, dude? Why are they so Napoleon complex?
I don't know. They're just assholes. That's all I got. They're just assholes. You said you got a new puppy?
Yeah, dude.
I just got a sheep doodle.
Nice. So
Dude,
ours is a Cavapoo. Yeah, it's ours is a
Yeah.
small one too. He probably won't get to more than 15, 20 pounds, I think.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's gonna be a little guy. But he's awesome, dude. He's just figuring shit out, you know.
That's sick.
Just figuring shit out, dude.
Our dog, he finally figured out how to go.
Lost him again.
That's my bad. Sorry, I'm just trying to reduce the mic noise.
God damn it.
206
doesn't cut
episodes
people out.
in, dude.
He doesn't cut people out. Talk to Josh. I feel like he's off now. I didn't even do. I didn't do that. I swear I didn't do that. Okay.
Let's talk
Oh, no,
to
he-
Bobby
he-
instead. Bobby,
Yes, sir.
He's back.
do you have any interesting cases that you're able to tell us about? Probably not, but Bobby works as a lawyer.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Well, skipped right over that.
Have we done anything illegal yet?
Oh, you'll be getting a letter from my office in the mail.
We've gotten letters. We've gotten letters for.
We
this
actually
podcast.
have gotten a cease and desist.
For what?
If you go back, if you go through, I'll just say,
Wasn't us,
if you go back in our catalog, there is just one episode that has been pulled. It was up for only a week, and he had
Someone was disgruntled with
he had a
bands that had
gag.
been
There
in.
was a gag order. Is that what it is? When
No,
you're
he
not
had
supposed to say anything.
He had yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he had that stuff. Yeah, he had a what do you call when you're trying to protect someone from someone? One of those
Restraining order?
Restraining order.
Yeah,
But
he
was
had
it
one of those.
restraining order? He did
That's
have
what
a
we were
restraining order for
told. Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we had
what's funny about that is pre-pod, our conversation before we went on, he already started burning bridges, and I was like, oh no, we might have a situation on our hands. And sure enough, dude, that episode, he just scorched earth on things that he is definitely still bitter about, and we still put it up because I mean,
Oh no,
was that back in our edit? Was that back in our editing days, or did we? Or was
there
it
was a bunch
live?
of edits, and then we were basically after that episode. I was like, because people would like say something like, "I'm embarrassed about this part. Can we take that part out?" And I'd be like, "Okay," and we'd have to like edit stuff, And then I was like, "Why don't we just go live, and then whatever happens, happens, and it's out there, and just warn them it's live. So like, before you start speaking on other people or whatever you want to do." Let's understand that that's on you now. It's not on us, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that's but it was an interesting learning.
A band's representation hit us up and said, "Hey, do your due diligence when you get." I mean, after we complied and immediately said, "Hey, like
they were cool,
totally." Like she was actually really chill, and actually was willing to like work with us after that. Like offered her services for the show.
Yeah.
you know, basically, so it was a cordial thing. Like, I mean, she's obviously, the way she was talking in her first correspondence is how a legal person would talk, and very intimidating, you
To
know.
whom it may concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after we say we're gonna do, we'll bow to you, then she's like, okay, let's be cool now.
Yeah, it's like, all right, a podcast we make like negative dollars off of. Let's not risk like our more money.
At
the time we were like, we're not gonna do, you know, we're not gonna fight back and make a stance. It's like, all right, there's already legal cases going on in the background. He didn't mention, and he just went nuts on stuff, and I was like, oh. Like the next morning I was like, oh fuck, like, you know. But it was, and he was a really good guy. One thing I'll say, a really good guy. I just feel like he had like a bipolar thing going, and once something ticked, it just went down a rabbit hole of just like hate, and then he'd come out of it, and we'd have to like calm him down, and he'd be like, all right, it's fine, well, and then he'd be fine, and then but like if you get him down those you know, bipolar, obviously,
and as an interviewer or a person who's just trying to have a conversation, you don't know what's going to trigger the guy.
Totally.
You know? So you just say some shit, and then you're like, oh fuck, dude, we just fucking sent him into another vortex, dude.
And you sit there. I remember there was a time, there was like I wonder if it's saved anywhere, but there was a time where me and him, I was like we were yelling back and forth for a little while, because I'm like, I was like telling him it's gonna be okay, it's not, you know, don't worry. I was like, oh shit, this is like a serious mental illness, and we're just like and that's another thing. I was like, I don't know if that's cool to put that up, like, you know,
but we still did. But it was only up for like 6 days, I think.
Yeah, no, at most. But anyways, lawyer Bobby, how did you get in?
Well, yeah, so I went when I was in college. I had a deal where the nerves in my elbows got really bad from playing music, and I didn't play guitar for like, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 years, something like that. Still like sort of made beat, did a bunch of other stuff, but like the music wasn't as central a thing in my life, and I decided at that point that I would, you know, see if maybe being a music lawyer would be a way to sort of scratch that itch. And that's what I do now. That's what I do now. It took a while to get there, but for the past probably like 4 or 5 years, I'm call it like an entertainment lawyer, but most of my clients are, you know, either artists or, you know, labels, or, you know, work for some concert security companies, things like that. To your question, Joseph, I won't go too much into it. You can pretty much Google this, but there's a case. I can talk about cases generally because they're publicly filed, although I just sort of big, you know, I guess generally without really commenting or getting into the weeds. But an interesting one is these guys that are suing for copyright infringement, effectively claiming to have rights to the entirety of reggaeton, which is
a whole genre.
That is, you know, it's a fascinating case. So you
can't comment.
Google. Yeah. So we're on the defense side on that one. We, you know, have a couple of an artist, a label, and it's just it is a really interesting area to work in, because for example, I won't go too much into the weeds, but generally the things that are protectable refer to melody and lyrics in a song. So I'm sorry, Joseph, but drums get way less protection than you know, the do re mi of the song, which to me, it's interesting. It's interesting.
The most famous one would be the funky drummer beat, the drummer of James Brown, and how many times that has been sampled in hip hop music, and he never gets credit, you know, never once.
But it's hard to dial that down to say it was just him, you know.
Yeah, that literally was his beat, dude. He came up with it, the funky drummer beat, dude.
Alter it, dude.
Well, I mean, if you think about like sort of where we're at in metal, you know, I would argue if God, and I hope they would, if Meshuggah ever hired me, but I would argue that, for example, Bleed, the drum part is the melody, you know, but that, you know, I think that's probably unique to certain situations. And it's just, you know, that's and I guess a caveat, not my legal opinion, just sort of where my gut stands. That is, to me, like something like that, that song in particular, that's it, right? That's
Can you answer this question on the screen? Drake versus Kendrick. Does Drake have a case?
Yeah, that's a good question to ask Bobby.
I am fascinated by that case. So I only read a couple articles about it. I haven't like dug into the complaint. What I think is fascinating is that it appears to be a leveraging tactic, because he's not just saying that UMG, and again, this is me speaking out of school, but it looks like he's not just saying that UMG defamed him, said that he was, I think, a pedophile or something like that. He's also saying that UMG pumped the numbers on the Kendrick song to make it look like it performed better than it did. And if I had to guess why he was doing that, it would be because he thinks that UMG doesn't want to get into discovery about that issue. That there may be some creepy crawlies under the bug when you turn that over, and there's a subpoena that's issued, or in this case, it would just be discovery. That UMG wants to make that go away because they don't want people to see the inner workings of how that works. That's totally me guessing, but that was the interesting thing to me, was that it wasn't just a matter of you said something about me that's not true, but that he went after this sort of artificial streaming deal, because that makes me think that he's trying to put pressure on Universal. So we'll see.
You talk about pumping numbers, and I don't really know any of the details about what you guys are talking about. I obviously have heard that there's this Drake and Kendrick beef, and in the Kendrick song, he's alludes that he's, going for underage or whatever. But if it was a pumping numbers thing, I've never heard a diss track on terrestrial radio played this much. Anytime I work in automotive, anytime I get into a car that is tuned to, a hip hop R&B station, there's a good chance that Kendrick diss track is going to be on there when I get into somebody's car. So if it's played on terrestrial radio, it's got to be actually popular versus pumped numbers or whatever,
Well, so I would argue the opposite, because,
Really?
Well, yeah. See, back in the day, if you've ever heard the expression payola, sort of there was a limited number of labels that would control what people listen, or that would basically put out all of the major records, and those that limited number of musicians would be basically fed to the record, or the radio stations, I should say, and there would be payments made, and that's what I was referred to as payola back.
I feel dumb because you're totally right, dude. The radio stations have been bought and paid for by the record labels for quite some time. That's a level that I didn't consider.
But sort of the workings of that, and the workings of that in the streaming world are less clear because it's newer, right? So, my interest and my fascination with what he's doing in this lawsuit is whether he's sort of he's betting that there's stuff that the majors don't want to come out in that lawsuit. It might be something like the same sort of arrangement, which is why he's making that claim in his lawsuit. Not necessarily because he thinks that it'll get him a lot of money or whatever, whatever relief he's seeking, but that's the type of thing that the label wouldn't want out in the public. Again, totally guessing, but that was an interesting thing that I saw in that lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of lawsuits, I wanted to say hi. How's it going, guys?
Toby, it's like back in
No lawsuits. Can you guys hear me?
the day,
Yeah.
like
Very.
Joel?
yeah.
Oh,
Right
yeah,
beside
sorry.
me.
Well, what I was, Casey's got. What do you got? Like a back issue.
You got
right?
a
Your
back
back's
issue right now,
yeah, I got a lame back at the moment.
dude. Look at how
The
savage
Bobby
you are,
wants to say
though,
hi.
dude.
I don't want to be all awkward just sitting here like, hey, join the part. It's like the guy that walks up to like the circle of people and just like stands next to them.
Just like
hey.
Nas's head.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh, dude,
so-
they're fucking talking about Drake and Kendrick right now.
I
Worst
know, I'm
time
like,
to
what
walk
do-
up.
yeah.
What does Josh have to say about that, dude?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Did
He's
we lose
probably-
connection?
actually,
He's
he's
got a
doing
bad
deliveries.
connection or something.
He's coming
I think
back.
he's trying to change to his home
Possibly.
connection once he gets into
Yeah.
it.
Right on.
But
Okay.
I was like sitting here listening to
when he
the
comes back,
show. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Go
sorry.
on.
There's like a delay. I'm watching on my TV, so it's like kind of weird. But I'm like, I was sitting here like just
on your TV.
watching the show, and I'm like, why don't I just like join on the couch? I don't want to get up, like, but
Yeah, no, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
interested in what you guys are saying.
you're-
So I've been listening for a while.
Are you watching it on YouTube on the
Yeah, I
TV?
put it on. I was in the jacuzzi earlier, but then I
Talk
came
about a
back
delay.
in. Is it a big delay?
No, it's not that bad.
3 seconds. Probably 2
Joel
seconds.
has one.
2 seconds.
You ever
You
set
know
up
what?
a TV while you're in
What?
the jacuzzi?
My ear. I should put on my AirPods. I bet it would be less delay. I should do that.
No, it's
Either
all good.
way.
No, it sounds good. I guess I have the shitty internet the whole time. My thing's going like, dude, you have shitty internet. It's unstable. You better fucking watch out. But
Anthony, do you hear a
just-
delay from me?
I don't hear a delay.
Oh, it's Joel.
It is. I know. And Joel
Joel.
always makes it everybody else's fault, but he's in the
Yeah.
fucking mountains with
I
mountain
say
lions and
mountain
shit.
internet. I always say mountain internet, and I say, well, before I even talk, I'm like, I'm gonna probably cut you off because it's a delay, and because I'm like in
Joel.
the. when
He always
like,
says we're
fucking-
on a delay when it's
Yeah.
really I'm on a delay.
We're on a delay.
Anyway, all right, shut up, everybody.
Yeah, I was, no, but I wanted to ask,
Um,
the point I wanted to make though. The point I wanted to make though was about the Kendrick,
Oh, yeah.
whole thing that's going on. It's funny how like rap battles have become like less like fuck you, blah blah. It's like what do they say in the courts, dude? Like it's come to like a place where it's like it's gone from it just changed the change of the guard of like in the streets. It's like whatever. In the
It used to be like
courts,
I'm the sickest rapper, and now it's all about I know about your dirt, dude. Like I know you're a creep.
Yeah.
That's like the new way to get a rapper.
I mean, I'd rather they
Yeah.
hash it out in court than like one of them hire someone to kill the other person like 20, 30 years ago. That's what was
Yeah.
literally happening. So I'm down.
But then
And
what if
yeah.
the court wins and then or a court battle, you win the court battle and they get pissed and then they do it and then they shoot.
That'd be-
It's like
Yeah, interesting. It's I mean, a lot of the Kendrick's like latest music, like content lyrics is like I know a lot of evil that's happening in the industry and I'm like kind of sitting on it and it's like, should I talk about it? Like everyone's just it's like there's a lot of secrets that are just about to come out and it's kind of like a hot potato game, like who's gonna be holding it when it all goes off, so
What's going on, everybody? Cali Rap Battle Pass podcast coming at you.
That was a
this
recording.
is cool though. I like to see the legal perspective of this. This is cool. I actually kind of like this.
We had sack talk first, and now it's law talk. We're really crushing it. So,
yeah.
No, but
Well-
I mean, to be honest, dude, we have a friend who's also in shout out. He's also been on the show, dude. Andrew Packer. He's a lawyer as well, and I'm actually fascinated with that world. It's something that I couldn't get into myself, but whenever I find somebody that decides to go into law, I it just makes me like, I wonder what would drive somebody to go into law. Seems like boring fucking shit to me. It seems like a lot of reading and a lot of jargon.
It gets pretty
I've read-
technical. It gets
I
pretty
read
technical.
fucking, I bought a couple houses in my life and all that shit is all legal bullshit and, been involved in wills and all this kind of the way they speak and the way it becomes really uncomfortable to read for a long time. How do you handle that?
yeah, it's a lot. What I will say, and what my favorite part of the job, couple of favorite parts, but my main favorite part of the job, and like I'm lucky, I get to represent a lot of musicians. I get to represent, even if they're infinitely more successful at the music thing than I will ever be, they're still like, in a way, they're my friends. Like, even like I've had, without specifics, like conversations with people that have been like nominated for Grammys, and it's like, hey man, remember that time that like you farted in the van 30 years ago? Like, I love that. It's so cool. And
Totally.
what's great about my job, and you talked about sort of the letter that you got, and it was like this crazy, like, I call it wizarding language that is just really aggressive and doesn't make any sense. Trying to take what's happening and convert it into something that's understandable by a normal human being is I think it's really rewarding. It's fun. So that's that aspect of it is cool. There is a lot of black and white paper, unfortunately. But there are some
just understanding like the language of it. It is its own kind of language.
Legalese.
And when I said I was involved, I'm not really involved. I know people who have been involved in wills, and I've been, I've been like, oh, let me check that out, and read along to it. And it's just like, man, there's so much, and it's so hard to understand. So why is it like
music
that?
too? It's like pushing, like it's, to me, I think of what he's involved with is, the same reason why you go like, all right, it's like technical music, going like, all right, what's more? Why does this happen? Why does this happen? Why, and like kind of pushing your brain to be like, why do people get to do this, and this person gets to run this company, and it kind of like goes to a rabbit hole. What I would expect.
Even contracts. We could take it back to music, like reading a music contract, like a record contract. I get anxiety after paragraph 1, and I know that it's probably worded in a way that there's no way that any part of it could be questionable.
Yeah, it's a little proprietary. It's proprietary. It's a little proprietary for for legal folks to be able to like only understand it, and like, all right, hire counsel to look this over, because you haven't gone through this, so you don't understand all these things that these things mean. So they make it kind of proprietary, where it's like you have to hire a professional to like go over it. I mean, that's not why they do it, but it's very technical language, and it really can like mean one thing or two things or three things. Like there's so many different other avenues. Law is a trip to me. It's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, I like the cynical interpretation of that. It's complicated, so that you have to hire a lawyer. That's
yeah.
I don't think
you can't represent yourself. You lose every time.
Yeah, that's exactly a fool for a client, what we say. But no, yeah, I think Anthony, I think you're spot on. Things are written in a really odd way to hopefully, if it's done well, really only have one possible interpretation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you think of it as, you have the red team on one side and the blue team on the other side, and they're both trying to win, and you're writing the rules of the game, you don't want to write them in a way that either of them can reasonably interpret them to their own benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have a really bad metaphor. But the half field line has to be where the half field line is. You could move that, or you could change the rules, screw over the other guy. Well, then you've done a bad job writing the contract. And that's sort of trying to think through a lot of when you're like working on contracts, certainly when you're writing them. And then if something goes wrong and you end up getting hired to litigate a contract that somebody else did, that's all, thinking through what could this mean? And what did they think at the time, that they signed it, and it gets into all of that. Right. But so this crazy wizarding language is the optimistic interpretation. It's done, if it's done right, so that everyone can understand it. And I would hope to live and practice in a world where that language can be less complicated, and that, if it's, you agree to sell me, 12 guitars, that's just what the contract says. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, especially when it gets into more complex stuff. Record deals are notoriously complicated.
I think that anytime people are signing anything, everybody's always trying to either fuck somebody or cover their own ass. And most, honest contracts are everybody's just covering their own ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's the, the evil contracts that people are trying to, get you to sign without realizing what you're reading.
Well, Bobby makes a good point. I think it is trying to make it as specific as possible so that someone can't go. I mean, that's why you see people going back and trying to find, like, there's my has been sued for not having specifically correct or no, they told me about a friend of theirs that had been sued for a web page not suitable for blind people because they went and found the language and it wasn't specific enough. And people like the patent trolls or kind of similar people that are trying to find ways to find money off or get money off stuff, they were like, well, for the websites for blind people, like you have to have the ADA laws need to come into play. And there's like certain things that would come out and it's like, well, they can't see the web, but at the same time, it's like, but it's not specific enough where people would take advantage and be like, well, it's not, and just get sued for, because the language wasn't, like I was saying earlier, it wasn't like there can be interpreted multiple different ways. It wasn't as direct as it should be.
Yeah. And that's like, if it's like a record deal, or like I do like band agreements all the time, and like I'm talking to the band members, it's like, guys, I want this to be so clear that when you leave this room today, you know what you have to do, and 5 years from now, you know what you have to do, and 10 years from now, you know what you have to do. And that's that's the goal when you're trying to come up with these things, is that there's no ambiguity. And like to your point about trying to screw someone over, which I don't approve of, and I think is really less than ideal. But I think covering your own butt is fine, because like it's trust but verify. Like, look, we're doing a deal right now. We're pulling in the same direction right now, but let's see what happens. If something goes wrong, we just want to know the rules of the game. What can we do? And that's I think the way that you should approach these things. Oh, we have a young.
We got Josh back
right there.
I'm here.
It makes me smile every time I can't.
Oh, he's on a mic and everything, dude. Come on,
yeah. I'm a pro streamer, bro. You didn't know? Just kidding.
Bro, you were hitting us with the fucking in the car shit like Diego Sanchez, bro. And you had this whole setup.
And I was in the middle of a bunch of mountains, so my service was absolute dog shit. I was just like, I'm gonna be late.
I hear you,
just
brother.
Do it here, yeah.
It's all good, dude. No, I mean, what a great upgrade, dude. You got better camera, better sound. Come on now.
Yeah, I have a Dale Earnhardt flag that I had up behind me a couple days ago. I just took it down, but
so you're a NASCAR guy.
I love NASCAR.
For real?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I work on cars. I actually sponsored a Southwest tour truck. I aligned one of those cars ready for those tracks. It was the craziest thing that I've ever done, dude. You don't align those cars anywhere near a regular car, because
they're like
in the turns,
always turning left.
The angle, the degrees of the road in those turns, you have to align the car to keep the car from wanting to go down. So you have to make the wheels want to fight uphill while they're driving in that turn. It's wild.
It's so wild, yeah. Yeah, I typically watch. I'll watch NASCAR pretty much every time it's on, and I have access to it. I will watch it. I just like grew up watching racing and stuff like that. Like I was a huge Jeff Gordon fan when I was younger. But then I got into like Dale died, and then I was like, wait a second, this guy was the fucking coolest dude I've ever seen.
Right.
I've been cheering for the wrong guy this whole time.
I got an uncle that has had a personalized license plate ever since I could remember. That is 3 NASCAR. That's his deal. Yeah.
Yo, legend.
3 NASCAR, dude.
R.I.P. Gone too soon.
Hell yeah. I was a drag racing guy. NASCAR was all right. I could get into it when I was sitting with that uncle, but I wouldn't really watch it on my own, but I would find myself watching NHRA as a kid, because it was just wild. I mean, obviously Pops took me to a race as a kid, and being right next to the starting line, dude, it was wild to feel those engines, dude. My eyes were rattling in my skull when they'd take off. And
what's that track? Is it Sonoma that's right near you guys?
Yeah. Well, no, there's Sonoma, but there's also
Napa, right? Is there one like that's the Sonoma one, right?
Between Napa and Vallejo. Yeah. What's that one called? Sierra Point? Is it Sierra Point?
It's Pebble Beach, right?
Oh, Sears Point.
Sears Point Raceway.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was close. Sierra Point.
Yeah. Close.
Classic me, always fucking up names of shit.
So Bobby,
But
can
yeah,
you sue
dude,
them because they messed up a name? Is that defamation of character if they were to like call the wrong track the wrong name? Sorry.
That's the second letter you guys are getting in the mail.
But yeah, the quarter mile shit always tripped me out because I would always flip out at cars that had so much torque that the front end would come up off the ground.
Dude, Tony Stewart was talking about the first time he ever drove a Top Fuel car, and they go like 360 miles an hour in a quarter mile. And he was like, when he took off, he could see like silver dust in the air, and he was like, I was like, what is that? And it's brake dust coming off the fucking brake caliper. It's just crazy. It's just like, it looks like there's just shimmering light all over, and it's just fucking brake particles flying off.
Dude, it's 360 miles an hour in a quarter mile. So it's basically like the distance between two average freeway exits, you know, and doing 360 miles an hour in between those two exits.
It's
from
wild.
From one exit to the next exit. It's so fucking insane, dude. And you have to do it in a straight line. And if you don't, you're going to fucking hit a wall. And also, if your front end comes up off the ground, you can't steer it.
No,
you can't steer the vehicle. It literally, you have to hope that your rear differential is straight down the fucking road.
Yeah. It's the wildest profession in the world. Like, it's the wildest profession in the world. You're like, you can either just go in a straight line, you can hit a wall, or you can explode. There's only 3 options. There's not like
shout out to Reef. He says 10 seconds. No, dude. It's like 3 seconds. Three and change.
Top Fuel is like 3.2 seconds. Yeah, it's so fast. It's stupid.
In a quarter mile, 3.2 seconds. What the fuck, dude?
It's insane.
Humans are not supposed to do that, dude.
No.
Humans are not supposed to do that. I mean, we do it in airplanes, but you feel like you're just sitting.
Remember, they've already done it, but they're not supposed to. They do it every day through air travel, but I'm just kidding.
My cousin's a race car driver, dude.
Like a track driver or like a drag driver.
All kinds. Yeah, we're Woody Howard. If you look him up, I was like at work, and I was talking
That's a sick
to
name,
this
dude. Woody Howard.
I was great.
Exactly.
Name.
Yeah,
I bet that dude's got a hammer on him, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Oh damn, he's like legit.
Dude's got a Woody for sure, dude.
Joel, share it. Put it on real quick, dude.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's in NASCAR.
Yeah. He won. I was talking to this guy at my work, and he's like goes to all the races up in Napa, and he's like this. He's been doing it forever, and I was like, yeah, my cousin. And he looked it up, and he was like, holy crap, dude, this guy like won all this shit. And I was like, yeah, man, he's a firefighter now. He doesn't like do it for a living, but dude, for like all the years we were touring, Joel, he was doing races, man. It was just like,
that's wild.
Damn.
He's got 2 first names like Ricky Bobby and everything, dude. That's insane, dude.
That is legit. That's not him. That's another guy.
Well, I mean, just another
that's crazy.
Just another example of how the Howard lineage is just filled with talent, dude, you know? Let's start digging on Casey's talent, and while he's sitting there and hostage from his back, he can't do anything. He has to.
Hey man, this is great. I'm gonna do the pod like this from now on. This is
that actually looks fucking
comfortable.
It looks kicked back.
You can get, there's cameras that can zoom in on you, like
you guys can say whatever you want. I don't even care.
Yeah, there's like zooms in on you, like follows your head around, all kinds of shit. But anyways, back to Bobby. So we got into the law stuff. So when did you decide to, like, we didn't even go through a timeline, we kind of jumped through it. When was like the first time you started playing with other people? And yeah,
I played in bands in high school. Started, or I guess maybe 8th grade was when I started, give or take, and then did that all through about senior year of high school, maybe a little bit into college, and that's when my elbows started acting up. At the time it was like go to real school or go to music school, and then sort of that injury kind of answered the question for me. And then I went to college and just, still, I've always loved music, and I've always been kind of had that, I would describe it as addictive, just like trying to write music. It's like, oh, that's cool, let's make a song out of it. But it was like, my hands and elbows didn't work. So like, it was like making beats on like, Fruity Loops and attempting to piano and stuff like that. And then things got better in terms of the elbow injury. And then maybe like 2000, right at the end of college, sort of was able to start playing again. And then got into playing.
Sorry, how old are you?
I am 36 years old. You make me say that on the internet.
Hey, dude, we just said, both me and Joel said we're 40, dude. We did it first.
You're young,
dude, you're 36, dude.
Stallion.
You're killing it. And oh man, now I lost where you threw me off. I can't remember where I was going. Oh, actually, before you go further, I just want to know, because you were talking about Metallica and Maiden and all these bands, but where did extreme metal pop up? And who did you get it from? Did you find the internet? Yeah. Was it your coach? Now he comes back. He's like, I'm not into Maiden anymore. I'm into fucking Spawn of Possession, dude. Check this out.
Totally. So it's some of that stuff. I don't know if you would go extreme metal for this, but I got really into like, I guess what you would call sort of like European melodeath. Like In Flames was a huge band for me.
Oh yeah.
Soilwork, and love Soilwork.
Yes.
All that Swedish shit was amazing. Yeah.
Arch Enemy, and again, coming at it from a guitar nerd's perspective too. Not a European band, but like Nevermore is another one. Jeff Loomis to this day is like one.
Jeff Loomis. 100%. He's one of the best that's ever lived. I would say for his shredding capabilities is ridiculous.
And also he's one of those, and this is I one day hope to be this person. My favorite guitar players are the guys where they don't even have to be shredding, but they start playing like him, Marty Friedman's this way, Eddie Van Halen's this way, and it's them. You can't see them, just hear, and it's that person. That's like the
language,
right? Yeah, But yeah, so like bands, Scar Symmetry was another huge one for me. Again, very guitar nerd centric, but it's sort of that was sort of the types of bands that I was into that got more, I guess, screaming. At the time, like, Kill Switch and Lamb of God were huge, and massively addicted to those bands. Avenged Sevenfold as well. But like, I think a big turn for me was, like In Flames is a good example of a band that like the vocals are almost like another cymbal on the drums. They're not sort of sing along to the guitars. The guitars like, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like that type of thing. And that was like, a brain switch for me where it's like, oh, that's the thing that I'm going to get addicted to listening. And then the vocals are there too, but it's not like, that's not the hook of a song. And I've always been really like sort of into hooks. And then in terms of like more extreme metal, it was frankly, I kind of started getting into it because like to play in a band around here circa like 2010, 2012 or whatever it was, you kind of had to play stuff that sounded like the Faceless or whatever. So the first band I joined in after I started really playing guitar again, I remember it's like, oh, I have to trem pick. This sucks. Which, it's something that I never had to do as a guitar player before. So that was kind of
sorry. And that's why he hit the gym. That's why he still sit there and like I mean the stamina that takes though is it after a while, like especially if you don't play, because I'll go outside of metal and play like other styles of music for a long time and then come back to metal and my arm is just like I'm like my left hand and right hand are like on fire and I'm like I can't do this,
Totally. And actually, the timing of it is backwards. So my elbows were really injured, and then like you had some friends in college were like, hey man, let's just go hit the gym. And it's like, you're in college, just go bench press, do dumb guy stuff. So it did. And that was the thing. I did physical therapy, I did all kinds of stuff. That was the thing that made my elbows feel better. And then you sort of, the PT guys afterwards were like, yeah, it's basically, if you get everything else around the problem stronger, It's going to take tension off it, and then you're going to feel
Mm-hmm.
So that was how I accidentally became a gym bro, in part because it let me play music again. So yeah,
that's awesome.
No,
That's
dude.
really cool.
That's you could say a lot of guys go to the gym just because they're looking for chicks, but you're literally just trying to improve your meat vehicle.
We're looking for dudes. We're looking for strictly dudes.
That's cool.
Don't get
Though.
it
I mean,
twisted, brother.
it's funny to like it's funny to put like all that effort that Bobby's put into like working out and stuff. Just be like, yeah, dude, just being a gym bro. You know, like, well, it's like it sucks because there's a lot of people that that ruin it for a lot of people that are just like the idiot gym bros, and there's people that are just trying to be in shape and like be healthy, and then it's like. That's what kind of sucks. That you have to just kind of just be like, I'm just a gym. I'm just had to be a gym bro. I don't.
Do you feel? Do you feel a meathead?
Weaker, like weak people? You're like, whatever. You can't lift that. Just beat people up.
Yeah. Do you feel like a meathead part of you like growing since you've been going to the gym? Like, do you just get meathead? Do you feel like, oh, dude, I am being a gym bro right now?
So no, I will defend meatheads in the same way that I would defend metalheads. There's terribly far for both groups of people. People that really love the gym are super nice. Like no one is bummed or judged you're showing up at the gym. They're stoked. They're like, I have new friends that like the thing that I like. The same thing is true for metal people. It's like, oh, you big scary black t-shirt people that like screaming. It's like, oh, we have new friends. You like my screaming music too.
It's a different form of nerd. It is a different form of nerd.
Yeah.
And actually that form of nerd is better overall than metalheads because, metalheads are drinking beer, smoking weed, and eating Jack in the Box after shows and shit like that. And your nerdism is bringing everybody together and bettering themselves physically, which
different
also
kinds of nerds.
mentally.
There's like a visual kind of like aspect to like the audio aspect is metalheads. Like, listen to my sound. It's huge. It's big. It's it's like and the other it's like more visual with the gym. It's like, look at me. I'm big.
Yeah, but actually some guys at the gym want to hear the sound. They want you to hear their sounds too.
The lift. When I lived in Sacramento, it's funny that it's the first time I ever knew this existed because I've lived in Santa Cruz my whole life. Was those gyms that have it was like $10 a month, and they have an alarm if you make too much noise, and they give you pizza. Planet Fitness.
They give you pizza.
They give you pizza. Like
ask that guy about that.
About this, dude.
Ask that guy.
Yeah. And they give you Tootsie Rolls when you check in. It's like, oh, Tootsie Rolls. And then every like certain Monday of the week they give you like bagels, and it's like it's literally like when I saw that I'm like, oh, this is like a scheme, but I have to use it correctly. It's like they're giving you carbs to get better, and it's like, do you accept or do you deny? And then like
so you can you can look at it in a positive way and a negative way. Okay, the positive way is the people who go into that gym will work extra hard that day to justify having a slice or two after their workout, whatever. Or you could look at it in the fucking evil negative way, which is the establishment is literally keeping you fat so you never stop coming back. I mean, you always keep coming back,
That's my excuse. That's always my excuse. It's never my fault. This is Big Pharma's fault.
They're eliminating that day of working out. The day of working out,
I need Bobby's take on this
from. All right. Yeah, let's
you
hear it, Bobby.
Right, but it's not for the reason that you think. Gyms like that actually they price the way that they do, and they try to attract a clientele that doesn't show up because they are way under-equipped and understaffed. So their whole business model relies on like fewer than 10% of their membership showing up, which is hilarious. But that's the whole business model. Fitness.
Well, if everyone were to show up for their like membership, it would just be an unusable gym because there'd be too many people there. Oh, gotcha.
The ironic thing, and like Josh and I, like touring around, we've both in Cyborg and like filling in for bands. Planet Fitnesses are godsends because they're everywhere, and because of what we're talking about, they're totally empty. So you go in, and it's a very usable gym. It's clean. It's super empty.
Showers.
you want showers,
Yeah, they're
you know,
nice.
the biggest-
Actually, remember
biggest reason. Biggest
the
reason.
North Highlands one. There's one in North Highlands that I moved, and I was like, it was right next to it. It just opened when I moved there, and I was like, they were like, North Highlands is a little weird. And I'm like, whatever. This is a brand new building. It's fucking all new gym. But the only thing too, they have like assisted bench press, assisted like it's like there's no like free bars or anything. It's all assisted.
They don't have free barbells, which is a pain in the butt. I agree. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, I wouldn't go there as like my home gym, but like when you're on tour, it's nice. You know,
Yeah.
it's
It's
kinda nice
something.
to have like a dumbbell week or month or whatever the tour is. So
Yeah, that's definitely it was impressive to me. It was like, yeah, like you said, it was dead, and it was $10 a month, and I was like, all right, well, down the street from me was in Antelope was the 24-hour fitness, which was like $50 a month or something, and it's like, you know, but which I ended up going to after, you know, just not wanting pizza was getting me. No, I'm just kidding. It was only the pizza was only like once a month. They do that kind of thing, but it was kind of just odd to me. And they had the alarm, the lurk or lunk alarm or something, right? Yeah,
my brother and I
was
went
like,
off on once in our youth. Yeah.
it's like a thing
You
if
did,
you're
you
like
did it on our
actually-
last tour.
Huh?
You did it on our last tour.
Did we set up a lunk alarm?
It might have been the archaic one. I think it was the archaic tour you did one.
That's right. Probably.
What's a lunk
What the fuck
alarm?
is that?
Oh my god, tell Anthony about the lunk alarm, dude.
So if you, I forget what the rules are, what the code
Slamming
of Planet
weights.
You're slamming
Can't slam-
weights. If you're like loud, if you're grunting, if you're like doing things that they deem to be like sort of whatever, I guess.
Disruptive.
Gym intimidation.
Jim bro, just going like,
Gym
"Ugh."
intimidation, dude.
Yeah.
Did you
Gym
see him flexing when he
They
said that?
literally set off like a hockey goal alarm in the gym.
Yeah. They go, "Err," and they have to like kick. Do they kick you out automatically? Is that, or do they like they give you like a yellow card?
I think it's a yellow card scenario. I think you get to go back to it. I think it's a shame mechanism.
Yeah,
You can't have a gallon of water. Remember, that was one thing. You can't have a gallon of water next to you. They're like, you can't do the
Why?
gallon. That was like I remember like something about the gallon of water was. I mean, slamming weights, a gallon of water, yelling. I remember seeing those rules and was like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm just getting back into it. I'm not gonna fucking do all that.
I guess you
$10.
don't need a gallon of water while you're working out, dude, because actually filling up on water would get in your way. Taking sips now and then. So yeah,
That's what. Hey, let Bobby, the not Jim Bro. Gallon of water is a thing, right? That's you chug water the whole time.
It's for sure a thing. I mean, like, you know, okay, if I was going to argue for a gallon of water, it would be that until very recently, a lot of gyms didn't have like the no contact refillers. And like, if you're dipping your bottle of water to refill in a water fountain, that is gross. That is a solid, whatever strep throat is going around your gym. So I can understand the large bottle of water. But yeah, like, I mean, like, you know,
I'm just saying, as an avid water drinker, a gallon is definitely what you want to drink at least during the day, but throughout the day, not while you're at the gym for 55 minutes.
Just between sets, you just piss.
Dude. Bobby actually drinks this water out of a bullet.
I do.
A literal bullet.
I have it actually. I'll get the bullet.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
Like, we're only cocaine driven.
I don't get it.
We were on tour and he needed a thermos because he like gets coffee every morning and he just like kind of drinks it throughout the day. And he got a fucking bullet that's like this big from
Like
fucking
a big
gloves.
mag.
Yeah, it's like
like
one of those things where you have to like push the button. It's like,
That thing's sick, dude. Oh, I want one of those.
it's so
Dude.
sick. It's
I'm
so
the
sick.
biggest hippie in my band too, so I have this fucking like generation kill shell.
Try to bring that on a plane.
Yeah.
It's like, let's bring the gun.
fucking
dude.
hilarious.
Well, actually, so I got that on the Archaic tour, and it was right before we had to cross the border into Canada. We're getting ready to get to the border, and I look
Gives them a huge
border
piece of
right
that.
next to me.
Oh, that's so good.
Maybe hide the munitions.
Yeah.
Ah,
God.
that's
Just
great.
pissing it before you go over. Like, no, dude, it's just water, and then it's piss. Anyways, but
Yeah,
that's definitely
I bought
Yeah,
I bought a knife on tour and didn't think before I bought it before we went into Canada, and I'm like, fuck, dude, what am I gonna do with this? I just sent it home. But it is funny that you make these weird, like, as a kid in their 20s, you're still a kid, dude. So you get to a place and you find a cool toy like a big ass bullet fucking water bottle, and
so
you
sweet.
just are in the moment. You're like, I
bringing
gotta
this
have
everywhere.
that.
The sense of humor and just like I call it like tour brain, it gets so dumb. It's just like
Yeah,
so
it
dumb.
does,
It just
dude.
evolves. But
all-
it goes to like childhood humor. You know, it's like all you're tired and someone farts and you laugh for like 20 minutes and like
Mhm.
almost like Idiocracy kind of gets you kind of the Idiocracy brain. You're kind of just like
Yeah,
pee,
you definitely
dude.
get more
You know, you
silly
kinda
and goofy.
yeah,
So,
but that's
Yeah.
I mean that's what dudes are together though. That's what it is. That's
and you
just,
can
we're the
find
same
those
age.
dudes into a small space for a month.
Yeah.
It's gonna get really fucking goofy and silly.
Like 15 inside jokes per tour will be like it's like a minute, like a mandatory minimum. Like someone will say a word and then you're like, oh yeah, that one time on, like it stays with you too. And you have to be an adult now. Like I'm like a vice president of a company. I'm like, yeah, dude. And someone says something, I'm like,
That's
like
the true currency. That's the
I'll
true payment.
remember stuff. It's like crazy that like how much that, and I do kind of like a lot of it's listening to your parents talk when you're younger and stuff, and they go like it's gonna go by fast, blah blah. You better soak this up now. Well, when I was 20 and decided to do the touring thing for a while, my dad was like, fuck it, dude. Like as long as you can like pay your own rent and like I'll help you with like little things if you're stuck, I'll do that. But like if that's your like what you want to do it. Like give it a shot. This is the perfect age to do it. And shout out to him and my mom just going like fucking just give it a shot. If that's what I was in school. I was in community college, but I was like, we got signed and I was like, well, who gives a shit about this? And I was like, young, just thinking like, well, it's gonna be rain now. I don't know. And but no, I'm so glad I got to didn't have any guilt about doing it. Got it,
Yeah,
got to go
we don't
travel
remember
a bunch.
the amount of money we lost or whatever, or even broke in. Even what we remember is the things that we're talking about right now, which is the real currency, the real payment from going out on tour. If you are in a band of people that you like to be around, obviously there are
You'll never
plenty of
forget.
people that have a situation where they're in a band that they can't stand being in, and they're out there touring on the road right now. But
They
luckily,
did it professionally though. They're professional. They're playing for big crowds, but they hate their life. So it's like I know a bunch of those people, that are like, well,
and
I
I'm
got
just
stuck
speaking
with it
from
and I kept with it.
I'm just speaking from the couple of times that I've toured. I've toured with people that have given me more of a payout than any financial currency bullshit that happened with those tours. I have the memories with you guys. I have the memories in those vans and laughing at those farts and Dan Eggers whooping our ass in Mortal Kombat and all that kind of shit will never goes away. That will stay in my brain forever until I get dementia. And then
that's
that's
how it goes. That's how until I get dementia. Jesus Christ, calling out your own fucking illness later on in life. But as far as
let's take bets right now. What do I die from? No, I'm just joking.
Probably cancer. Bets. We're doing bets. Cancer. I don't know.
Top 3. It's on the board.
Yeah, heart disease, cancer. I don't know. Top 2. But no, as far as no, it's with anything in life. As I get older, as an old 40-year-old man, which I'm older than Anthony by a few months, you kind of look at like there's a lot of like situations, and also on tour, there was a lot of times I wasn't happy, but I look back on it and I'm like, that was the best time. It's like the rose-colored glasses kind of thing, and so I always try to take that part of my psyche into mine, where it's like, yeah, like you can keep looking back and be like, yeah, that was sick, but like there was a lot of times where you're unhappy, but you kind of find the beautiful parts about it and you look back only at those. I feel like that's a big thing. Humans do that with everything.
I was gonna say that's human nature, dude. That's human nature. we're gonna eventually. It's we're stockpiling all the memories we want to see on our deathbed, dude. You know, everybody talks about your life going by. Yeah, dude. Reef wants to get in on Deadpool. Let's see how the Cali Death fucking hosts die, dude.
Cali
We all
Death,
bet on
it's
it.
like, who dies first? What's going on? It's like people taking wagers to get buckets.
Are
Yeah, but
toilet
in
still
reality,
legal
it's
or
like-
what?
What's that?
How much money are we putting in this pool? Because I want in.
dude, we'll start a fucking GoFundMe.
I'm
mean,
the youngest one here, shockingly. So
Whoever
I think I might
dies,
win.
whoever dies last out of the four of us, dude, gets all the money, dude.
Well, secretly, like I want to start a pool, but it's rude of like what like rock stars are gonna die next, and I feel like it's rude, and I don't want to do that. But at the same time, it's like it's sports.
Who's the?
It's betting.
All right, just let's be rude for a second. Who's the rock star you think?
Let's make a top 10.
Well, I was gonna say Ozzy. I said Ozzy 2 years ago, and
Ozzy's
he hasn't.
been-
He keeps going.
I don't know, dude. There's something
guy's got
about
something
him,
else.
dude. He's got like Kevlar veins or something, dude.
Look at
He's
the-
gonna outlive
behind
us.
Look at them.
Yeah,
Look at the
there
guys.
he is.
He stared at him too long, and then he died in the plane crash. Sorry, I'm kidding.
Dude, tell me that doesn't look like Biggs right now.
Dude,
Doesn't that look like Biggs?
God damn,
Dude,
he is.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
We've been Ozzy's been on borrowed time for years, guys. And
Keith Richards kind of type person. It's gonna be like way
yeah, no, I
farther than
think
you think.
those
They're
guys have
blood.
calcified their organs in heroin residue, you know. That's
Thoughts are
literally
killing
they've
me.
like all they've vampirized their body.
Oh, we
through
got
drugs.
one for Gene Simmons. He's up
Yeah,
there,
I don't
but
know. I think
we need these because you know
the
what
same
actually
way
what I do see a lot though is I see blah 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 musician dead at 69 or 68. 69 68 is usually
Nice.
where I see the this is
Mhm,
terrible.
mhm.
We shouldn't be talking about this. But this is
Ah,
like
come on, dude.
it's kind of the
All
hot
right, I
spot
was
of where I
gonna-
see a lot of the people that toured a lot that are like rock stars. They usually last end of their 60s. That's usually where they go. I don't know why that is with the stress they were on, the lack of sleep for years and years and years. But it seems like it's a consistent kind of number I keep seeing. And I'm like, it's like this person died at 69. It's like, oh, it's like everyone else has died at 68, 69, 70. Like I feel like that 3-year stretch is kind of like what I constantly see. So that's the pattern I see. That's all I'm saying.
Well, all the guys we're talking about right now are past that though, right? Ozzy's definitely into his 70s at least.
I think it might be 70. Let me see.
And I think Gene being mentioned, I think
76. Yeah, he's pushing it.
how old is Gene? Gene's ego is going to work the same way that the drugs work.
Gene's
with,
ego is like 300 years
Gene's
old.
ego. That's what his organs are calcified in. Is just his liquid.
Damn,
ego.
Ozzy's older than Gene Simmons.
Holy
I
pardon.
just found that out
Well,
just
dude.
now by a year. But
I always trip on this, dude. Black Sabbath. The members of Black Sabbath were born only 2 years after World War II.
we had to go down this road, dude.
That's
People are
insane.
just shouting at rock stars are going to die next.
Can we add Ric Flair to this list?
I think Dolly Parton.
I don't think Ric Flair's got more than like 3 or 4 years left.
Oh no, Ric Flair. Dude, that's another person that's like every time I see him like in a live setting, I'm like Jesus Christ, he's just hammered and
Well,
he's like
he gets,
in his
yeah,
70s,
because
I'm
he
like,
still gets
his-
hammered.
His last match he ever had, he did like a tag team match with his daughter and his daughter's husband, and or no, it was with her daughter's husband, and he faked a heart attack in the match. Like he was like his whole family is there. He'd already like almost died the year prior, and he's like standing outside the ring, and he's just like. And everybody's like, "Oh fuck, it's happening!" And he's just like,
an
"Ah."
ambulance comes
blow,
out, like
blow.
a real
you,
ambulance
brother.
takes him in. And he's just like, I'm just kidding. I couldn't handle it anymore. So-
I mean, dude, that just,
And he kicks out.
Imagine- I was like,
shout out to pro
Surprised.
wrestling for being able to poke fun at shit like that, dude.
I'm also a huge wrestling fan.
Dude,
Dude.
I mean, I grew up on The Undertaker. I grew up on Kane. Like The Undertaker was the most influential and it made him the most impact on me as a kid. I wasn't an avid watcher, but I would watch with my grandpa. He would only
was
watch
avid.
that in football, dude. Wrestling and football, that was literally his shit, dude. And so whenever wrestling was on and The Undertaker would come out, dude, I would legit get scared, but I was waiting for it to happen. I wanted it to happen, but I would be nervous when the Undertaker music would start, you know? Like, what's gonna happen, dude? It's fucking creepy. And then it's just a bunch of dudes just slapping each other in the chest and fucking
just destroying their lives by slapping them. Like they're like, oh. I know, but I got to meet like the Big Show and all these people at the airport after after a big when I was just getting out of wrestling, maybe like 99, 2000. Like Diamond or not? No, there's
that was like
Big
that
Show.
was like the golden era.
Yeah, no, that's when I got into it. It was like the NWO versus all that shit. Like I was like,
middle school is when everybody was fucking chopping at their nuts, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, DDP, dude, DDP. Oh, dude.
That was the way we would do it. That was the way we would greet each other at school, dude. And the guy, there was no handshakes and shit. It was just like, here's my dick. Here's my dick.
Enjoy a rock bottom, pussy.
It still works though. Like for sports celebrate. Actually, they've been finding people. I heard on a podcast recently. Someone did a suck it or something, and they like fined him for it. And I was like,
what?
Get a fucking life, NFL. Jesus.
Like the league they played in, find him type of deal.
It was the commissioner of a league that they were playing.
Yes.
I know. It's like if you say it to like a woman in the crowd, I could maybe like find the case, Bobby, lawyer talk. I could find the case for that to make
directed at a female, one specific female.
Yeah.
It was directed at the dude next to her, guaranteed.
Yeah. The dad going like fuck you, and he's all just got to make sure the angle is correct. You have a laser pointer on your like midsection where it's like it's towards this person.
Yeah, it's just a fucking mag light on the end of your penis.
Bobby, what's the okay, obviously you can't probably give us any details, but and we will get into Josh after this. I wanted to ask this for a while. The craziest case that you've been involved in and what you can divulge in conversation about it.
The craziest case I've been involved in.
And talk about all the things. I'm just kidding.
That you can.
So
legally.
I have a funny story for you. And this, I didn't work on this case. This was actually a friend of mine I went to law school with. But I don't know if you know what a deposition is, but a deposition is basically a lawyer is asking a witness questions just like they were in court, but it's outside of court, usually in a conference room somewhere. There's like a court reporter, taking notes on their little computer, writes everything down.
But it still ends up being on record for whenever a trial happens.
That's where to tell the truth. That's the whole deal. And one thing they tell young lawyers to do is to not be super tied to an outline, because if you read like a list of questions in a row, you might get a good answer that you don't think about and you just leave it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, a friend of mine, one of his very first depositions was like some like totally, like a real estate case or something. And he was deposing this woman, and there's a number of questions you ask at the beginning of the deposition. Like, what's your legal name? What's your address? How long have you lived there? Where'd you go to school for how long? Sort of like, basic stuff.
Yeah.
And one of those questions, it's like, maybe like 10 minutes in, you get to ask it in California is, have you ever been convicted of a felony?
Mm-hmm.
And so he asked the question. The witness says yes. And he says, oh, what were you convicted of? And she says, oh, I got arrested because I chopped my boyfriend's penis off.
Oh, no.
And do you know what his next question was? Do you know what his next question was?
Bobbit.
How big was it?
Oh, no. His next question was, again, he's looking at his outline. His next question was, what do you do for work?
Pre-planned.
So you stepped over the oh man,
it's pre-planned. He has questions pre-planned. He's like,
well, yeah, he's going. He was too much to the outline where he wasn't because everything's being recorded. He's not paying attention.
You got to improv a little bit. It's like
a fucking knife sharpener.
Yeah, it's like,
dude.
that is like, I'm spending an hour asking questions about that. But yeah, but you know what I
No
mean.
shit.
That's so good.
Just out of intrigue, not even about the case.
What
Yep,
a
yep.
crazy
I do have a question
woman.
for you. I wrote down while we were talking about that just now. Was okay? So when they say it's always been a question of mine because I always, I'm actually absolutely riveted and watch all the court hearings. I watch all the interrogations. I'm pretty deep in that shit since a long time. So one thing is when they say when you said hand to God, all that stuff. If you're not religious, does that just mean hand to the book of law that you're not going to lie?
Yeah, what you're basically doing is, and I think they've, at least in California, and I think in federal court too, they've taken God out of it, where it's like you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. What you're basically doing is you're putting your own blood on the line. You're saying there are civil and criminal penalties if you say stuff under the penalty of perjury, and then you're lying.
Do they still say "So help me God" though at the end?
Not in any hearing that I've been a part of, and I'm trying to think.
Okay.
Not, I don't believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because that was kind of like an out where you could, like I said, it's not direct language, so you could argue that like, well, so who's God? Like, I don't, that it's not applying to the person that's there. If they were to take that route, what if it's someone has a completely different set of religion? It's like, well, I mean, help me, Buddha. Like, what are you talking? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be like you can argue a lot of these things in the semantics.
Totally.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Well, really, it's just you. You're just putting yourself on the line. So if we'll think of the third Faceless album, I Am God. That's just how it is now.
Yeah. This should just be like, put your hand here. Are you a bitch?
Yes.
I know I said I had one more question when we get into Josh, but now that you brought up something else, there's always been a fascinating part of court for me, which is it the stenographer? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, stenographer, court reporter. Yeah.
I have actually seen the transcripts of how they record a trial, and it's weird as fuck, dude.
You mean before they like fix it up?
No, so like their keyboard is something that it's not a QWERTY keyboard. They're not typing out what you're saying. They have a special keyboard that there's certain combinations of hand gestures that
they do words
represent certain words and that's just how always fascinated me. There's somebody who literally has to sit there and listen to all conversation in a room, multiple humans speaking, and be able to record it as accurately as they can, fast as they can. So they literally had to come up with their own way of recording human language.
No, I've gotten way deep on it just to see what it was, because I got picked for a jury for like a. So okay, here's a question too. If I was on a jury and like the shit already happened, and am I allowed to talk about it ever?
You know what? I should know the answer to that question. I think you can. I think there's nothing preventing you from
I think is not really.
I think that once the trial's once the case is closed, you can talk about it. You can't talk about it during an open case.
Correct.
So I got put on a pedophile case, and I was in Sacramento, and I was like got picked for it, and I was like,
was
kind
it
of
you?
Like, that's your mother, but your dumb mother. I'm just kidding. I love your mother. But no, it's I was like,
I'm telling you this weekend.
no. But I was like, I kind of just want to like be a part of this. I'm like actually excited to be a part of the jury and be a part of a thing. And and then you had to deal with it, and it was a little rough. But and then the guy that was like, they're like saying all this evidence against him. Was sitting with you, like in the little hallway before the shit's going, before it goes back, and I'm sitting there going like, you fucking, because immediately he was like not guilty, and then immediately they're like, hey, we have the tapes. I was like, oh my, and then like the defense towards it, I was like, bro, like 2 seconds in where you're done. Like there's not, like you're not going to be able to defend this. Like this poor lady had to defend him, and they had to go like, I say that she was sitting on this part of the bench 3 feet over, not this. I was like, that's not a defense. And then that whole like thing, just to watch it all go down and have to sit next to them and like right before we get called back into court again, it was an experience I'll never forget, and I'm glad I did it. But at the same time, it's definitely an experience, and there's a lot of they're trying to like prove us. It turned into like a game a little bit. It's like, all right, well, we already heard him admit it pretty much with these secret. They had an investigator call, pretend to be someone. Boom, he responded. He said the same. He said admitted to it basically, and they didn't know. He didn't know they had that. And it was a stall. Boom, slam dunk, like pretty much done. And we're all sitting there like, all right, let's just hang out. But I forgot what the question was. But that was a very intense. That was a very intense time to be a part. I was like, I just want to be a part of the process. Like, you guys call me to jury duty all the time. I want to be a part. And yeah, it's something I'll never forget. And I think everyone should answer their jury duty thing. And
hell no, dude.
thing.
I lost that shit in the mail every time, dude. Allegedly. Every time I lost it in the mail. It never got.
No, I mean, to be a part of it. I mean, my job at the time would pay in Sacramento paid for like I was at work, and I was like, I got to do like a sick, like kind of be a part of the system for a while and like sit with a group of people and like try to talk about it. And like they were trying to be more legit than I was about it. They were like, all right, let's go through everything and like figure it out. And I'm like, we all know what's like this is a big charade a little bit. I know. It's like this is a charade. They've already proved it, like without a reason. It's already done. Like what we have to sit now and get sandwiches and be like, all right, let's go through every one. All right, done. And I was telling them, I was like, could you go an extra day? Can we like be undecided for like another hour so we can get another day off? But it's a very interesting just a very institution. It's very I got to damn it, Joel. All right, I'll shut up. So tell me about.
All right, let's move away from the law. Let's get on to Josh. Let's get his backstory, and we'll butt it up against when you guys both join the band and get the Cyborg Octopus story. But Josh, give us some origin story the same way, dude. Go back into childhood. Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Reno, Nevada. I still live here. I've been here my entire life, except for like I moved to Nebraska for 3 months because I like had a complete mental breakdown and just needed to get away from town for a while.
That's good.
Yeah, it was good stuff. How I got into playing
not
drums.
just music, but just like art, dude. Just creativity. What was if you were making comics at a young age, we want to hear about that too.
I was a baseball player for a very long time, so that was pretty much all I did was play baseball.
What was your favorite position to play?
I was a third base because I'm kind of a stockier dude and I don't have the greatest range, so just like hopefully they hit the ball right at me and I'm good kind of guy. I played a lot of video games growing up too.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What'd you play? What was your first console?
My first console I ever got was Nintendo, just the old ass Nintendo.
How old are you?
Fuck. Oh God. It's probably like
92.
Or how old are you? How old are you now?
Just 33.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you still got an OG NES back then?
Yeah, so I think I was like 5 when I had it. I was playing like Mario and stuff like that. And then
sick.
Not too shortly after that, the PS1 came out. So I jumped straight from that Nintendo to PS1 and I didn't have like a N64 or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I just started playing Metal Gear, which is still to this day my favorite game of all time. Yeah. And then I think Halo was Xbox, so I must have started playing Call of Duty first. Like COD 4 when that came out was like all I did for an entire summer.
So what age was this when you're doing that?
When did the PS1 come out? 2000, probably something like that.
Okay, let me think about that.
But yeah, I was probably like 9 or 10. I was born in 91, so
okay.
Yeah, so I was raised by my aunt and uncle. My mom passed away when I was super young, so it's kind of like I think I was like 7 or something like that. So my dad was never really a part of my life growing up, so it was basically like my aunt and uncle raised me when I was like 6. So,
if you don't mind me asking,
yeah.
what happened with your mom? Was it a health issue?
Yeah, so she had breast cancer, and then got rid of that, and then she got a brain tumor, which was like they could have operated on it and got it out of there, but then she would have been like
vegetable or
incapable of living, basically. So
yeah,
it was her choice. Huh? She was like, I'd rather go out than have to live like that. And I was like, you know what, 2 thumbs up. I'd do the same shit. So
my mom always, she goes like, there's all these forms I'm signing, like, please don't let me like be in a certain way, like, don't
100%.
My mom says the same thing, dude.
And like we watch them just slowly deteriorate and like forget who we are. And like,
anybody who's dealt with an old person that is incapable of living and needs help 24/7, anybody who experiences that immediately goes to their family and says, hey, I don't want to be, I don't want 100%. You wiping my ass, you know?
Yeah. Right.
It's like keeping people alive sometimes for themselves. But anyways, I mean, because we don't want them to go. It hurts.
It is a wild thing. And again, this is how this show works. I'm going back into the weeds, but dude, what's so strange about the human experience is you degrade back into what you were in the beginning. Isn't that strange? Like a lot of I just recently had my grandpa pass away, and the better part of the last decade was dementia, you know, and you know, half of that decade he forgot who I was, you know. So I became this weird guy that would be talking to him no differently than I would talk to one of my kids at a toddler's age, you know. And not in a bad way, but just like I'm telling you, can't leave the house, you know.
Once you understand it too, you're just hanging out with them, you know. It's not like, you know.
No, I know. And I would find where he would feel comfortable. I would find where he was comfortable. I'd meet him there. That's what I would always do. If he wanted to fucking watch the same movie that he always loves to watch, I'll watch it with him, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, dude, how did we get here? Your mom having hit her health issues and not wanting something like that, you know, and well, dude, and for that to happen at age 7 for you, dude, that's a deep thing, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, obviously, but yeah, now it's kind of it's been long enough that I have kind of a sense of humor about it. Like, my wife and I were at her mom's house, and we were talking about something. And she dropped, "Oh yeah, his mom's dead," and me and her just fucking started laughing our dicks off, and like her whole family's just like, "Why would you ever say that?" So it's like,
it's funny. That's
beautiful,
dude. Strengths that I'm like obsessed with right now. It's Strength with got Harrison Ford's like newest thing he's done, but Jason whatever from I Love You Man, I forget his name, Jason something, but his daughter as like that, you know, his wife died, so his daughter's mom died, and she went to this party as a teenager. It's like, I'm just a dead mom girl, like I don't know what like, and he's like, what do you do? She's like asking like guidance, and he's like, give him dead mom face. And made it kind of like funny, you know, like because people go like, oh, my mom, blah blah, oh, I'm sorry, you know, like because they were talking about their own mom or their parental situation, and then you'd be the one sitting there with, you know, your mom passed away, and they're like, oh shit, sorry, you know, and then you have to be coddled the whole time, and you're like, you kind of need to like fight it with a little like,
no, dude, it's beautiful that it's beautiful that you're at a position where you can have a sense of humor about it. And it's even more beautiful that you have a wife that can have that same sense of humor with you.
You have a connection with
and hit you, and you met on that level, you two, in that moment where everybody else is feeling uncertain about what was just said. You and your wife had a moment together right there, and that's beautiful, dude.
All right, Anthony, we could have skipped past this whole thing. Like you had to bring up the fucking, you had to bring the obvious dead, the passed away mother thing.
Is this something that we should have skipped?
I just love hitting people. I love hitting people with the like. They'll like say something about my mom. I'm like, yeah, she's dead, and then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I'm like, yeah, cool, it's cool, like whatever. And then they'll be like, oh, what's your dad about? And I'm like, he's dead too. Sorry.
So
I'll just hit him with that, and then usually it just ruins everything.
He's dead, and actually, you're saying he's dead. Like, he's dead, but and he was actually never there anyway.
Yeah,
so it doesn't.
He was the worst. Anyways,
so tell me about your dad. I don't want to go into the worst.
Okay, I will say Josh makes so much joy when anyone makes like a oh, that's not what your mom said last night joke.
Oh yeah.
Like immediately, just
I'm just like, cool, man, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean that's part of.
Okay,
the whole
so
thing.
I'm not trying to dig on you too much in that area.
No, you're good.
But
dude,
we're just hanging out. We're having a conversation, and
totally fine.
It fascinates me to understand you as a person.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep asking questions. Okay, so your aunt and uncle raised you.
Yeah.
Out of the aunt and uncle, who's the blood and who's is it a mom, sister?
Aunt. Yeah, my aunt's she's my mom's sister. She's the oldest living. My mom had three sisters and four brothers, so they were like 8 kids in that house. Like, I mean, you're dealing with that right now with like 17 kids, right? But no, yeah.
Goes up.
So it's like it's kind of crazy because my mom was, I think she was my age when she had me. She was like 33 to 35, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly how old she was. But yeah, so like most of my family is getting like really old, and if not, they're just like fucking dropping like flies at this point. It's crazy. Like I think I have like my aunt, my blood relative aunt that's still alive, and then I have one other aunt, and the rest of them are all gone. It's wild. So I've kind of gotten to the point now where it's just like, it doesn't really bother me all that much when people die anymore. It's like I've kind of had the worst of the worst happen. So it's kind of like, it's not going to get any worse for me unless like, never mind. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not putting this in the universe. But yeah, it's just like, the stuff, it doesn't really get to me nearly as much as
even exposed to it very early.
Yeah, like it should bother me. Like, but a lot of times,
I mean, it does in a certain. It does,
for sure.
Like,
it's just
that's like
life,
same for me. Like I remember, like I buried a bunch of like my friends and stuff when I was younger and stuff. Like went to like 7 funerals in 1 year. When I right out of high school and stuff, and it was just like funeral, and then like grandma, and then like on top of it, it's kind of like I became desensitized a little bit to like that whole thing. But like now it kind of like it's like a thing where it takes you a little while to kind of like process and all those things, and but like and then you understand that we're all humans, and then we're not gonna we're not immortal, so it's like just be thankful for the time you had, think about the loved ones that you've had, and think about the good times and all the stuff, and like give them, and I feel like the thinking about them is like giving them praise. You don't have to like talk about it out loud. You have to just be like the good times. Anyways, I don't want to go down that road, but
so Josh, your aunt and uncle, did they raise you until you became an adult?
Yeah, so I lived there till I was 18, and then I lived in Yuba City for a year. Because I went to college to play baseball, and that was like what I was gonna do. Like I was like, I'm gonna be a professional baseball player, and then I blew up my knee, and that was over. So,
fuck.
But when I moved to Yuba, I started playing in a band from Lodi. And that was like I started playing music when I was 12. And I just joined a percussion class in middle school, and I was like, this is cool. Like, I really like playing drums. And then when I got into high school, I was supposed to be in the pit for marching band, and one of the bass drum players quit. So they just moved me in to play bass drum because I was like the biggest guy. It was one of the bigger bass drums. And
what is being in the pit?
So it's like auxiliary. So like xylophones, marimbas, like wind chimes, timpanis, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like then when you do the marching band stuff, that's like all in the front of the field or whatever, and then the marching band's behind it. But yeah, so I did that. My drum instructor, to this day, is still the most important drummer in my life. He played in a metalcore band in my hometown, and I went and saw Judas Priest. One of my best friends growing up took him and his dad took me to see Judas Priest at like an outdoor thing at a casino in town, and I was like, "This is fucking insane!" Like, just Rob Halford just fucking standing like 70 feet over us, just and I was like, "This is the coolest shit I've ever seen." So I went and bought like a full. It was like a 40 song double disc thing of Judas Priest. I listened to that, and then I started listening to Motley Crue, and then I got into started listening to like Linkin Park, and eventually got to Avenged Sevenfold, where I was like, oh fuck, like this is the first time I'd heard like actual screaming on an album, because this is Waking the Fallen, which I think came out in 2002. And then I met my drum instructor in 2004, and then he was like, go listen to Meshuggah, go listen to As Lay Dying, go listen to these bands. And then I was just like, holy shit. And then I heard the Black Dahlia Murder, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do, is this right here. I have to do this. Exactly.
Another lucky little thing where you have an older mentor. God, my lighting sucks right now.
You look fabulous.
We still hear you. We still hear
you. To have an older mentor, that feeds you something that you take in as an influence, because this is somebody you're looking up to, and then they give you something. I think that like there's an unwritten thing that happens when you look up to somebody, then they say, check this out. You have a filter that's already put on before you go in to listen to that. You know that this one person that I think is someone who's a great human. Now this is what they like. I think I should like it. And it kind of it's almost you're being tricked, really. If it wasn't the drum instructor that handed that to you, would you have had the same reaction?
I don't know, because that's Joel knows Chris Portugal. I met Chris in drumline in my high school, and he was like super into like Behemoth back then, and he was like really into, like, we were all into All Shall Perish. Like our whole drumline was like, All Shall Perish is the greatest band of all time. And I mean, still almost reigns true. Like they're like still top 3 all time for me. But like everybody on our line was into like Killswitch, Trivium, In Flames, like Haste the Day, all these like metalcore bands. And then Chris and my buddy Danny were like really into the Black Dahlia Murder. This band called Norther I think they're from Sweden, but they were like, fuck, they ruled.
Oh, Norther, Jesus.
Yeah, dude, that band was so fucking good. And that was like, I think the song was called Death Unlimited. We used to jam that every time we got into a car, like for like a year straight. It was phenomenal.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think I would have, because
I
grew up
All Shall Perish album that you guys started listening to.
I didn't hear Hate, Malice, Revenge until like super late. I think that was, when did I think I probably heard that when I was like 16, but Price of Existence I heard was like, I think I was like 14. I was just like, what the fuck
just
is
to throw
going
it back
on?
to the Pound talk real quick. There was a band called End of All that one or two members ended up going on to, find being a founder of All Shall Perish. I think it might have at least been the drummer. I don't know. Maybe the vocalist of End of All was the vocalist on the Hate, Malice, Revenge.
Yeah, nice. pre Eddie, that big dude.
Yeah, I was just saying, because Eddie wasn't the OG, was he?
No. There was that big dude.
And there was this End of All band that would play at the Pound as an opener or middle act on bands that would, tours that would come through. And I always would get somewhat of a Skinless vibe from that band. And then All Shall Perish came out and totally became All Shall Perish.
Yeah. They had a very cool, I mean, that's so fun. They're getting back together and stuff. I remember me and Eddie went to not Crosses, but Palms. It was the Chino Chino Moreno band with the members of ISIS, not the band ISIS, and not the group. So I remember he was like, he's all, tomorrow I got a big announcement for you, dude. And I was like, and that was like the whole Suicide Silence thing. But like me and Eddie have been like, and also too in the Bay Area, like obviously Bobby, like down over DNA Lounge, he's been like the ticket guy there forever. He's always been there. Like it's cool to see him. It's like we went to go see a show, and it was during the right after the pandemic, and people he's so popular now. People are like coming up constantly, and it was like a still masking time, and I was like, put your fucking mask on, dude. I'm so but it's cool to see how far like those guys have come and how influential, because remember that first with the big fat guy, I apologize, I don't know his name, but that album like stuck out, like a Red Chord album stuck out. That album stuck out. There's like a bunch of those albums, like a bunch of those albums like kind of stuck out as like this new kind of style of death metal or extreme metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about the guys in ISIS after our war? Like they're like, fuck, dude. We had a good run, dude. We had a good run, and now we're fucked. And the run made it to where they couldn't change the name. Sorry,
it really got to suck in the age of the internet, just because like they were probably on the first or second page of Google when you searched ISIS, and then that happened, and they're like page 30. You know what I mean? Like
they're getting death threats.
That's tough.
You son of a bitch! You live in the Bay Area. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
it's so tough.
Yeah. Fucking.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dude. Anthrax in 2001, dude. Same kind of thing. Reef.
Yeah.
They were fine until 2001.
Until people were sending it in the mail, fucking ruined it.
I did. Bobby said something earlier about the timeline of when I actually joined. Well, I didn't join full time, but I was playing with them before Learning to Breathe released. So it wasn't after, because I played. Remember, we played the Red House.
You're right.
Then we played that show with all of the cover bands, and there was an Iron Maiden cover band, and you were so excited. That was our second show together ever, and then our C release show was the third show we played at the Red House. You were like, I cannot believe this! I am so excited, and they was singing all the songs, just fucking getting shit house. It was great. It was a good time.
Talk about getting the first drum kit.
Oh God, my first drum kit came from J.C. Penney.
Nice.
It was
a catalog. Did you find it in the catalog?
No.
Yeah,
so
dude.
We were at a wedding reception, and I'd been doing percussion for like throughout middle school or whatever, and then Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC came on, and like that album was like huge for me. This is after I saw Judas Priest live. I got into like AC/DC and all this stuff, and there was a guy playing, like he brought a drum kit that people could just fucking play at this reception. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but I just got up there and like played along to the song, and my parents were like standing there, and they were just like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah, he's not this guy can fucking all right." Well, so they just my uncle built me a shed in our yard, because we had a pretty good sized yard in my backyard, and he built me a shed like connected to he has like a little a shed that's not attached to the house. Built me a room for my drums. Yeah. And he was just like, "Here you go, dude." And got the drums, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I just immediately just took them. Didn't say thank you to anybody. Just took all the drums and ran down there and started setting them up. And I felt so bad the next day. She was like, "You didn't even say thank you," and I was like, "Oh." I was so excited. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's rad, dude. It
sounded
cool.
like absolute dog shit, but it was so cool.
No, but that's the whole point. We've said it many times on the show, dude, but it is really such a beneficial thing to have family or friends that are willing to sacrifice certain things. Go for it. For you, because they see your potential. Your parents agreed, your uncle chipped in to where they made a space for you to be able to explore that thing that they saw in you, And whether or not that goes anywhere, that's one thing, but at least giving you the space to get in there and figure it out if you really are that guy. That's just and I want to be that parent, you know, with my 17, 18, 19 kids, dude. I mean, my wife's pregnant twice right now, you know.
Jesus. Again. God damn it.
No, but it is something that I just see that I was those spaces were open to me through friends, and I saw what happened in those places, and they're totally linked to why I'm sitting here talking to you right now about this music that we love playing and listening to, you know. And so it's great to hear that every time it comes up on the show that, you know, there is a version of a guy or a gal having a space that is set up from their parents or family members to fully flourish as whatever creative force they're going to be, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So you get the kit, you run it down there, you fucking set it up, you have your way with it, and then you tell your mom, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say thank you so much." Now, where does it go from there? How often are you going in there to play? When's the first time you bring another human over to jam out some music in that space?
So I pretty much every day I'd get like, because I'd have school, then I had baseball practice from like 2:30 to 4:30 or whatever, and then basically I'd get home and just be like, all right, I'm gonna go play. I'll see you when I see you. And I'd usually come back in for dinner and then try and go back out and keep playing. But I had like a strict, I think it was like 8:30 cutoff where I couldn't play anymore because it was still really loud, and like I had a shit ton of neighbors like right around me. So but yeah, it was constantly doing it over and over and over again every day. Try to remember the first time I played with anybody. It was so fucking long ago. It was this dude who he ended up going into the army. So like it was like me. I don't even fucking remember his name, but my friend Dylan was a vocalist, and he was just screaming or trying to scream or whatever. And yeah, I was basically trying to play like really shitty As I Lay Dying. And the whole reason that band like stopped was because we were playing in my buddy's garage, and that guitar player's entire stack got stolen out of the garage. And we were just like, well, I guess this is over. Hey. Yeah. So
game over.
Yeah, that was it for that. But it was cool to play with other people for the first time. I was like terrified, just trying to like put in like little double kick flurries wherever I could because I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? I was like doing like the three kicks before the snare over and over and over again. Like it's absolute fucking noob. But
dude, real quick, shout out to Ian in the chat, Sick Drummer Magazine. He's looking for your contacts, dude, and looking like
Ian. He's posted a few videos on me before.
Yeah, dude. Well, dude, maybe he wants to work. He maybe wants to do some more work with you because he's looking to get in touch with you, bro. So after this episode, we'll get that info to Ian.
While you pick your nose.
While it's my fucking. I didn't pick anything. If I picked it, I would have ate it.
Do you guys eat your booger? Okay. So is that a thing? People still eat their boogers?
High in protein.
I'm sure people are drinking.
I hate you.
Wait,
it's not protein.
Jim Bro is telling us, dude, you eat your boogers all day.
He's the one that's
2 grams of protein.
All right, the only legal opinion I'll give you today is that boogers are high in protein.
That's like the old school like thing that would be like on the Love Line. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, semen's high in protein,"
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get gross as fuck. There is a group of people that believe that drinking your piss is healthy, dude. So I'm sure there's a smaller group that is booger eaters and snot. Yeah. They make snot smoothies and shit like that, dude.
Electrolyte.
Bobby got the willies before I did. Look at this.
I mean, dude.
You have a guy
some
behind
fresh-
you on your
some
wall.
celery,
that snorted
some
piss.
fresh ginger, some snot bombs, fucking blended up with a pear and some fucking spirulina, and you're good, dude.
Yeah, dude. All your basic food groups.
Gross, dude. So disgusting.
Fuck yeah. So
Bobby
I mean,
is Bobby's
sorry,
the dude
I'm
in the
delayed.
van who he makes all of the fucking dad jokes possible, and you want to
love it.
stab him, like you want to stab him 27 times a day, but like he'll hit you with one that makes you laugh just a little bit, and you're like, he lives. He
And you're like,
lives.
I'm glad I didn't stab him.
You're like,
really
you're
glad I
like,
didn't stab him.
yeah. Like, it's like-
You know, I wanted to set the lion loose, but nah, dude, it's good, dude.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate good dad jokes. I mean, as long as because it's funny because it's how you present it. So if you present it as a
Yeah.
dad joke, people go like, ah, but if you like set it as like a quick little thing, people will be like, that's funny. So it's
There
like
is a
when you present it with
there-
self-deprecating humor, you're self-deprecating yourself already before you say it, then everyone
Yeah.
latches onto it and they go, I'm like, motherfucker, I did that, but that's still fucking clever. I don't give a fuck what you say. You know what I mean? That's kind of like my internet sucks. Anyways, you guys are frozen, but it's fine.
No, dude, you're good, dude. I get what you're saying, though. I mean, that is
If you
your
give it to them, like I am being a self-deprecating person, people are like, oh, woo, ooh, they're like waiting to jump on it, and it's a good joke, and then like you're like, but I'm saying it because
what
I'm
you're
like,
doing right there is you're like, man, I fucking put myself out on the line. I talked
Yeah.
shit about myself. I did these things. I did my dance, and I didn't get the response that I wanted, dude.
I expect the
fucking
laugh.
guys.
That everyone goes like, you dork, fuck you. Whenever you do like when you present a dad joke, kind of because there's a way of presenting it, going like,
Yeah.
it's like blah blah. You'll like do like a blah blah, or you'll do like
The windows of timing for a dad joke are smaller, but once you hit those windows, you're like, all right, I understand doing dad
There's
jokes.
some good dad jokes out there.
I would
understand.
disagree somewhat, only because if it's a really bad joke, if you really give him the elbow for like a solid 30 seconds and then hit him with one that sucks, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when it's terrible.
Yeah. Me and Bobby are
actually
fucking relentless with each other. Like we will tear each other down at any cost. Like we'll ruin friendships to talk shit to each other. We'll do whatever we have to do. It's like anytime Bobby says a joke, even if it's funny, I'm just like, you're a fucking idiot and nothing is funny. It's just
I'm actually the guy that I'll give you your high five when I know you that was a serious effort, even if you bomb.
Or if it's an effort to bomb. If it's an effort to bomb on purpose, then I'll be like,
it's like it's the anti-comedy thing. Like you laugh at the fact that totally. I look for that
trying
too,
to bomb.
dude. I'm just like, dude, you fucking did it, dude. You did. You could have kept your mouth shut, but I love that you fucking tried, dude. You know.
Sometimes gold comes out. Sometimes absolute gold comes out. Just let it flow. You know.
And that's why you try. That's why you keep trying. You know, how many times have both you and I bombed on this show, Joel? So
like
many
700
times, dude.
It's like us
We keep
bombing.
trying.
We watch a bunch of comedy stuff, and we're like, dude, we're gonna try this on. We're gonna be fucking comedians.
We're
dude.
trying to be funny guys too. We can be
doesn't work.
funny, right?
good luck, asshole.
And here, fast forward. Here I am. Here I go. I say, hey, we can be funny guys, and then rewind back to, yeah, dude, my grandpa when he had dementia. Yeah.
Like make that funny, and then you're a genius, dude. Like, anyways,
yeah, all my parents are dead.
Yeah, it goes back to that. That's comedy right there. To me, that's comedy. That's comedy. Just put it all on us. It's like, oh, so anyways, so mine are dead. So anyways, we'll move on to whatever you guys are talking about. Little cute little jokes. But yeah, that's good.
That's good shit.
But that's awesome, man. So I mean, damn,
that's
so
awesome.
You guys, I mean, that's awesome. Jesus, it's not awesome. That's not what I'm trying to say, dude. It's nothing. None of the dementia. I have dementia right now. I drank a little bit. I have dementia.
This does give you daily dementia right here, dude. In the
And my
can, dude,
fucking
for sure.
internet's cutting out, so you guys are fucking still. But anyways,
You're
so
fine
getting back
right now,
to,
dude.
I know. I mean, I know I look. I'm just kidding. I'm fat. But like getting back to like
Yo,
the
Sam,
story
dog.
of like, it's frozen on Bobby just going. I said I'm fat, and he's all. It's frozen on Bobby. Just like his face is like, yeah, dude, you need to fucking get your shit in line.
It's like, bro,
Whatever.
pass up that pizza when you walk into the gym, dude. And you
Yeah, no more
fucking-
bagels at Planet Fitness, bro.
God damn it, dude!
Knock
I
it
want to
off.
walk. I want to walk on the fucking treadmill for 3 minutes and get a fucking. Actually, you know, it's funny. The story I was gonna bring up back then was one time I was like, "Is it cool if I grab 2 large pizzas when I walk out?" And they're like, "Yeah, I grabbed 2 large pizzas and then I walk out with 2." I just wanted to ask the front desk. It was kind of a joke. I was like, "Is it cool if I grab 2 of these?" They're like, "Yeah, it's cool." And I just grabbed 2 of them, and I just fed a bunch of people with them. Like,
That's genius.
Courtesy of Planet Fitness, boys.
ask because it was like
God
kind of like it was like
damn.
9 it was like 9 o'clock at night, and it was like triple stacked fucking layer of pizzas,
Bro,
and I
that's
was
a
like,
$30 savings right there. At
yeah.
least.
And at the time I was broke. I didn't have much money, so I was like, fucking, can I grab like a couple of these?
You were
for
a
like,
king right there. Where'd you
I
go
know.
back to? Where did you go back?
well, I folded some of them up. I folded them up, you know, for like other meals because I was broke at the time. So I was like, we gotta
But
make
you were
sure.
saying you didn't feed anybody else?
I gave half of it, or half of a full pizza, to my coworker. We're in IT, like we're at the time we're in like low level IT, trying to we're trying to figure shit out. I'm like, all right, dude, here you go. Here's pizza. They're like, fuck yeah, they're all stoked. So, that's where you start, dude. You know, start from the bottom.
Dude.
Now I'm here, dude.
You
But
you're definitely here, dude.
but no, because and also, so you think about the waste. You're like, do you think the people pretending to be like bodybuilder workout people at the front desk are going to be like, oh, let me take home all that pizza, dude? You know? Like, I don't think that's going to happen. So in my head, I was like, might as well ask. I asked nicely. It was like, is this going to go anywhere if I grab 3 of these? Is that cool? They're like, oh no, grab them. Like, if you just ask nicely, people are like, fuck yeah, just take them. If you're like, fucking, I'm taking these motherfuckers, and they probably be like pissed.
Did you do a full workout before you took them, or did you just go in there and?
I don't remember the
Walks in, takes a
workout I
shower,
did.
and
It's
steals
probably
the pizza.
No,
yeah,
dude,
yeah. The workout
you
by
need to
myself
tell
is
us.
it's a give up workout. I go like, I'm a little tired and I'm gonna lift a heavy thing and be like, I'm done, dude. Like it's like I benched 225, dude, 4 times. I'm done,
Nice.
dude. I need to go get the pizza.
Let me get 2 pizzas and I'm out, dude.
I remember actually at Planet Fitness, actually, Brand, you will crack up at or Bobby, Brandon, called you Brandon. I like for the first time in my life, I had deadlifted there, and it was like one of those like supported deadlift ones.
Oh,
And
on
I
the
put
Smith.
I put 315 on it. And I never deadlifted in my life, and I lifted it, and I was like, I am the shit, dude. This is the and then my whole body for a week and a half was the most sore I've ever dealt with in my
Dude,
life.
that was a
But I
bad
did it though.
move,
I was all like, boom, 3. I was like 3 plates on each side. Fucking what? Dude? Like I don't need to fucking work
bro.
on this.
You guys are fucking You're like,
I was like
"Fuck, you guys-
shaking and got
You
all
guys
up,
been
like
working on this? You guys been working on this around here for weeks, dude?
thinking like it's only about how much weight you lift, not like the results or anything. Like whatever, dude. I
Yeah.
beat all the bodybuilders, dude. I'm cut now, or
Especially
it's
at
all
our
fixed.
age, dude.
It's all fixed.
You need to start with the bar. Start not even with the bar. Start with just the movements. Just
I think
what you
I think Bobby
hold an
would agree that
imaginary bar.
deadlifting is bad for your back and causes a lot of injuries, right?
I think you have a risk of it. If you do it right, you can do it well. I mean, I've hurt myself deadlifting, but man, there is something to be said though for that feeling of like when you first hit that number that you want to hit, and then you're walking,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm fucking, and you're not, but it's the best feeling. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Have you ever felt orgasms in any muscles in your body like Arnold?
I haven't felt orgasms anywhere in years.
So he's lying to us, guys. He's lying.
No,
dude.
there's probably he's excited about things, and I don't know. I don't think it's an orgasm. You can't say it's an
I
orgasm.
don't know, dude. How cool would it be to have an orgasm in your right calf or something real quick,
Sounds
On
like he
leg
needs to
day.
go see a doctor.
probably my first or maybe my second ever metal concert. I went with my dad to see Iron Maiden, and this hammered guy. I'll never forget this. He was probably like 60s, sort of like just burn out, like his eyes were barely open. He like sort of across my dad and I. He's like, Iron Maiden's a fucking orgasm of the heart.
It's called death.
I mean, to be honestly, that's some deep philosophy right there, bro.
Orgasm of the heart.
I mean, you could analyze that. There's a book's worth of analysis on that statement, dude.
It's so stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I know orgasm. You don't want your orgasm and heart to be in the same spot. That'd be terrible.
Say heart palpitation, sir? I think you
I
might
want
be
to have
right.
an orgasm on
heart
any
attack.
part of my body, dude. What are you talking about? I'll have a belly button orgasm right now, dude. If you told me I could, I would fucking have it. What are you talking about right now?
No, orgasms are full body with a emphasis on a certain part of the body.
So if somebody said, "All right, dude, I have the,"
why are we talking about this?
I have the.
This is honestly right up our alley.
I have the power to give you. I have the power to give you a pinky toe orgasm right now. Would you say no? Just your pinky toe.
I'd be scared of my pinky toe.
The feeling of an orgasm in your pinky toe. They just point at your foot and then you get it. Would you say yes or no? I'm saying yes. Dude.
I mean, I would try it. I would try it to see like if I touched my pinky toe and I had an orgasm, I'd be like, what the fuck does that even mean? It's only been in one crotchal area.
To have an orgasm in a different part of your body versus your dick,
right here.
Yeah, dude, an armpit orgasm would be amazing, bro.
Dude, closest thing to. All right, sorry, you go ahead. We're on a delay. I'm cutting people off. I'm in the mountains.
No, you're not. You're fine, dude.
I'm trying to be respectful, you son of a gun.
Where do you live now? Where'd you move to?
I moved to Corlitas.
Okay.
So it's like in the mountains of Watsonville. It's like we had to get someone to put a satellite on a 200-foot tree that points at something that gets us like kind of good internet. No, I know it's crazy. It's if the wind goes, it's like I'm all like, hey, dude, yeah, I have a point. Like it turns into that. So
it's not really that. It's not as much as you think, dude. I think that you've been.
Well, it tells me at the top. It tells me at the top it's like your internet sucks. It's going to be unstable, and it shows like the Wi-Fi signal with like only one of the things lit. I'm like, sick, dude. I feel comfortable talking right now. It's really
yeah. I was just trying to control you, man.
Don't
let the internet win.
I'm speaking the truth. That's why they won't fucking stop me,
aluminum
dude.
foil around your antenna, dude. You gotta extend the antenna.
Oh god! But I had a funny thing, but anyways, so orgasms at the toes.
Yes, orgasms in your toes,
dude. What are you drinking right now? But what are you drinking, Bobby? You're frozen. Just water. How many ounces of water do you drink a day?
I don't count. I just kind of drink water throughout the day.
Yeah.
How many times do you piss? You piss probably like 40.
A lot, dude.
How many times? Okay. Oh, Bobby. So I've been drinking it. Like I have this 40 ounce thing of water that I'm like constantly like. We have an ice machine we just bought, and we're like constantly dumping ice into it and drinking water. Like we're all stoked on that. It's a fun little thing. But I drink probably like the 40 ounce, probably like 4 of them a day. Probably like 4 or 5. And all through the night.
60 ounces.
Yeah, probably like. When the night
starts,
starts,
128.
Yeah, when the night starts, I'm like, I'm gonna just force piss out because I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to wake up like in a while, or like an hour or two in the middle of the night and piss. So I like force pee out that's my nightly thing now because I drink so much water.
If you hyperhydrate, that's what I like to call it, hyperhydrate. You have tons of half pisses. There's tons of half pisses throughout the day.
Bobby's younger than us. Where he might have a better urethra. I'm asking Bobby. So, sorry,
it's a solid urethra. I will say.
But no, at night though, how many?
He has a cyborg urethra.
But like for pissing at night though, do you think 4 times in the middle of the night's bad?
I have
that's a lot.
That's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
For 40, bro. You're getting up 4 times in the night, bro?
You might need to get your
No,
butthole
dude,
checked.
don't get embarrassed. But
Okay.
is that real?
No,
It's
but
4
because
times?
I drink late. I'll drink water all through like the evening and stuff.
So
and I'll,
I
like, be like-
front load my water, dude. Front load your water.
I know,
Start
but I
drinking
sometimes
as soon as you
backload,
wake
dude.
up, and then start slowing it down in the afternoon, and then
Yeah.
try and stop at dinner. 4 times a night's a lot, bro.
We're giving them an insight on what their fucking adulthour's gonna be like, though.
We're giving you
I
an
have a-
insight of what your bladder's like right now.
Bobby, what did you say, Bobby?
I have a family history of prostate stuff, dude. I'm right behind you. It's going to be fun. So I'll join you soon.
Jesus.
It trips me out that all of us, if we extend our lives, will die from prostate cancer. All of us will get it. All of us would get prostate cancer if tomorrow we wake up and they say, hey, all males, you now will live for another 100 years. The second 100 years is all of us dying from prostate cancer.
So, Josh, what do you think about like death and stuff? Is that cool? Is that fun?
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, people being dead is cool. There's a lot of people that have died like forever.
There's more than have lived. If you think
Dude,
about it,
like,
there's definitely
so
more people
many.
have died than have lived, for sure.
Pretty
Yeah.
soon we're gonna run
By
out of graveyard
billions.
space. This is a real problem.
What
That's a
trips me out is that malaria has killed more people than it hasn't.
The graveyards are getting full. Sorry, I tried. That was
That's a
it. Never
trip
again.
too.
Never again.
I mean,
Never
dude, we
again.
play- we
I'm never
play-
doing that again.
Dude, graveyards are getting full, dude.
Oh.
Shout out to Mike Gilbert living in Colma,
Real
the
estate's getting
most
expensive.
fucking populated dead person city in the world. I think, at least the United States. He is just on top of dead people, dude. That's crazy.
I saw
Everything's fine.
Ian said something about melatonin in the chat. Me and Bobby crush NyQuil and melatonin on tour like
Oh, yeah.
nobody's business.
I was Advil PM back in the day. That was my move. But yeah, you gotta. Actually, you know what? Actually, because melatonin stopped working for me, and there's a sleepy time tea with melatonin in it, and it fucks you up, dude. Like I put 2 tea bags in, and I am done. Like melatonin doesn't even. It gets me a little tired, and I'm like. And one thing with melatonin too, there's like a window that if you don't go to sleep within that window that you're tired, it'll keep you up all night. So
Yeah.
that's one thing with melatonin that you have to
Everybody's
worry
talked about all these sleep aids, dude, and they work all right, but dude, heroin, dude.
That was a nice. No, that got me, dude.
I haven't tried that one yet. Maybe I got to give that a shot.
Dude, dude.
Dude, Bobby will literally get in the van and we'll go through the drive-through to get food, and he'll order his food and he'll be asleep by the time we get to the next window. It's fucking unbelievable. He's like out. It's like it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like he has narcolepsy. Is that where he like pass out randomly? He's like a fainting goat, but he
narcolepsy sounds kind of cool, dude. It actually sounds kind of sick.
Why there's death, and there should be narcolepsy for a cool death metal.
It's a sick cousin of death for sure. Just to go unconscious randomly.
Yeah. It's like you're not gonna die anytime soon, but you're dead.
It's so funny.
In the moment.
All right, Bobby. You had to say something.
All right, let's talk about
warrior.
All right,
Dude.
let's fast forward to when you guys start working together as musicians.
Yes.
Do you remember the first time we met, Bobby?
Ooh,
this is
It was at Patrick's mom's old house.
Yes.
I rolled up there because we were going to play a show the next day, and we just YOLO practiced together for the first time the day before the show. And that's been our mantra ever since, is never practice together and just go play shows, basically. It's been great.
It's bananas. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And our saxophone, guitar, all over specialist Patty. I'm realizing this as we're talking about this, Josh, with you with baseball, me with soccer. Patty was a really good gymnast growing up.
Yes, he was.
Are we a jock band?
We might be.
Yeah. But so am I right in remembering this, Josh? Like Patty had like the little tiny pommel horse that he used as a kid and was doing like the spins outside of it
Yeah.
I met Josh. That's my mental image. But yeah, that's right. That was the and I have tried to instill, and we've been better about it.
Yeah, much better.
We do take our music really, really seriously and playing it well, really seriously. But there's only so much you can do if you're treating it like symphony and just practicing your ass off at home. There's something to be said for doing it in a room at least once before you go on tour. So that is something that we probably the last couple of years. But I mean, God, we've probably played a couple hundred shows in this band. Would you say, Josh?
Yeah.
And we've had
Since 2016.
maybe 10 band practices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a very trust fall band. Like we all make like, I mean, if one of us shows up and fucking plays terrible, we all know. So it's like,
all right, band practice, everyone. Band practice.
Yeah.
Calling band
it's
practice.
Like unless we want to start practicing every weekend to make sure we don't fucking suck for this local show that we're about to do. Just be on your shit. And we've been really, really good about it. There was one tour that I felt like I was a little underprepared, but it was also after a knee surgery, so it was kind of like I did my best, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not an excuse, dude. So, anyways,
sorry, I tried so hard.
But that is cool though. I feel like
Odeus had that kind of that
if
vibe,
you love what
dude.
you do though, but if you love what you do, then that's I'm a manager now, and I feel like not micromanaging people and just basically being like, all right, are you keeping your side of the street clean? Like, make sure that like what you're doing is we don't have to talk about it. If you're like want to work on it and you want to be here, then do it. Then I'm not gonna fucking be like, what are you doing? Tell me your activities for I'm not gonna be like that. Like if you're handling your stuff, like you're handling your stuff. Like I don't have to deal with upper management. Like we're not. It's same with like upper management in a band would be like the crowd being like, you guys even practice or what's going? You guys, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things. You guys handle it on your own because you love it.
Yeah, it's honestly better this way too. Like practicing on my own is so much more valuable than practicing with the band. And I did that with the band before I played in Cyborg. Like we practiced 4 days a week, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And like I got better incrementally, but it wasn't like just sitting there and trying to figure out a part. Like I was like having to fucking play the song over and over again and just fail this part over and over again and then try to figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
Now it's like I've been practiced in a room with the band like consistently since like 2016. It's like I've just basically just practiced on my own since then, and it's been like the first album I recorded for Cyborg was Between the Light and Air, and I went from like being like some fucking dickhead that was just not very like there was no consistency in my play, if you know what I mean. And like once we did Between the Light and Air, it got like I was like, oh fuck, like I kind of actually figured it out a little bit. Like the technique is there now, and I'm like really getting better. And that was like I was like, what? I'm never fucking going back to playing with the band live ever again, like in a practice space. I'm just gonna practice on my own because it's so much easier to find like all the little spots where you're fucking up or the things you need to just drill and figure out. You know what I mean? It's so much easier that way.
That's a Gabe Sieber kind of mentality, I think, too.
Yeah. Shout out Gabe.
Gabe's definitely the guy who's just like, I'm gonna show up and I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be ready to execute and keep up, motherfuckers.
Like
Still one of the best in the business too.
I've had multiple, like I talk about it multiple times, like the going on trips with them to like NAMM or something. Like when he's like being asked to be in a band, that's the shitty drive because he has to listen to the songs the whole drive down, and it's like he's all just listens. But that's the way you fucking master them. You know, I forget what band it was at the time. I don't know if it was Obscura or something, but it was like constant. Just like, and I'm like, oh, I like this band, so let's do it for fucking 6 hours. It's fine. But the thing is, though,
what's actually crazy about it, real quick, let me just add to that, which is, as a musician, you're listening over and over again and drilling the song into your psyche, but you still have to physically make it happen after that too. So that's that next step. So you're building it, you're making it like a part of your everyday thinking, but executing is still another thing too. So it trips me out that, you know, drilling the song into your mind over and over and over again can benefit the physical execution. It's just fascinating just to hear something and then hear it so much. Now I'm going to make it happen with my limbs.
Yeah, I watched Larnell Lewis talk about this. He was like, visualizing yourself playing while listening to music is like a really easy way to, especially for drums, because you're basically just like looking around at your drum kit, but you're like eyes closed, listening to music and just like envisioning yourself playing the song. And that has worked so well for me. And I cannot like that. I did that like 4 years ago. So when I listened to this, I was like, I can't believe I've never thought of this. Like just sitting down and visualizing myself playing while listening to music. It makes it like you kind of already have an idea of where you're going, but it's like,
that shows the power of our brain, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you literally you're making it happen before it's actually happening, you know? If you truly visualize yourself playing the song, you will play the song. You know?
Yeah.
It's wild. It really is to think that you can visualize yourself playing a song or doing anything, and that will benefit you when you actually make it happen in reality.
Yeah.
And it's way less stressful too, right? Like if you're trying to learn something that's difficult or new to you or whatever, when you have that part that you're trying to take down and you're doing it in your head, you don't have the, oh, my hands can't do this or my feet can't do this. You know what I mean? It's just like you're thinking about it and then you have it there. And then when you actually put your hands and your feet to it, it comes out a lot smoother because you've done it. You know, it's like it's almost like a dry run type of thing.
Yeah.
In terms of just sort of reducing.
And it tricks you into thinking that you can make it happen. So it gives you a higher percentage of actually making it happen, you know, just by saying, oh, okay, I can visualize myself doing it. That adds whatever percentage to the, you know, you being able to actually do it. And I think that's the power of the brain, dude. And you just having faith in yourself. It's literally putting faith in yourself.
Yeah. Mental reps are big for me. It's it's really helpful, but yeah, now I'm a guitar pro learner. So it makes life even easier.
and when I say all of this, I'm actually a guy that is a proponent of being in a physical space with other people. So to hear you say you excel better when you just in your, you know, your own element by yourself, that I respect that totally. But I also think that, you know, but it's all about your writing style. If you're open to happy accidents and fun moments happening in the moment, jam space is better.
Yeah.
You know? But as far as just, you know, playing what's already been created.
We save our happy accidents for the studio. And then Bobby's like, nah, dog. And then I'm like, now we're really going to fist fight. Just kidding.
I know. Bobby, by the way, you're gonna end the episode with like flexing your fucking goddamn guns, dog. That's what's gonna happen. But
I know,
Bobby, he's
not your penis. That's what I'm saying. I'm texting with Gabe right now, and he says he's so stoked that you guys are on, and he says Cyborgs are great dudes. Fucking
tell him I love him,
dude. But I told him give me one. I've only been texting for like 2 minutes at 10:09 is when I started. But I was like, give me one question. I want to see what he says. He's all, I'll listen to it right now, dude. I'm at the bar. And I'm like,
that's so funny because he texted me randomly this week and because he had heard that we got the house and all that stuff up in Rockland, and I find out he's 2 exits away.
Yeah.
Gabe's
No, when I moved to
literally
Sacramento, he was my
2
first
exits away
contact.
from my house.
No, he was the first person. I was like, we're like friends now, right? You like we can do stuff. You know, I was kind of like trying to be like, I don't know this place. Will you be my friend? You know, he was the first guy that was like that, and it was awesome. Like he was there, dude. Was a great friend, man. For me
Dude,
personally,
no, I'm super stoked, dude, because now it's like we're a couple months into having the house. We're really settled, and then Gabe hits me up, and I realize that, you know, because I'm a little fucking what I just texted him.
Fucking goddamn it.
Joel is an imposter. He is.
I mean, I sent a picture. No, he said, "Is Anthony asleep yet?" Too was the first joke, and I sent him a picture of Anthony.
Why? Why is it?
I don't know why, dude. It's weird. I don't know where people.
Do I look weird because I'm looking down and I'm in the dark?
No, it's weird, dude. This is the only episode that's ever brought up.
I have infused weed and I put hash in the joint. So this is the most potent joint that I've smoked in a long time. But what I was going to say about Gabe is that he made me feel comfortable, dude, because when you move to a different place, it's always going to be like, oh shit, it's a new environment and all this shit. But knowing that I already have homies in that spot, dude, I'm already set, dude. And SAC being the spot where all the tours are coming through now, dude. So I'm going to be able to get to shows more frequently when I'm up there.
All right, so back to these guys.
Say up, it's not even up when I'm west or east.
So how much? What's Josh's? What's your PR bench, dude? Josh, what's your PR bench, dude?
I've never really been an upper body guy. I think the most I've ever done was like 245, but that was like a long time ago.
Okay.
Bobby
scratches his eye like it's a lie.
Yeah.
Bobby thinks it's a lie. He's going like, yeah, right.
I don't
dude.
think drummers skip leg day, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Solid bench.
Okay. So is Bobby
drummers don't skip leg day?
Brother, I got thighs that'll cross your eyes.
Thighs across your eyes, bro.
But you can't get too heavy with weight though if you're trying to be fast, right? Isn't that a thing? Like if you're like,
nah, okay, doesn't matter to me.
Dude, tell Gene Hogan that, dude.
Yeah, homie's playing fucking scuba gear.
He's got boots on.
What?
He's underwater, just going like he's all like elbow, his arms are doing this. He's like,
yeah, dude, so crazy.
Dude, that's amazing.
That's awesome. That's so good.
Yeah, I was always a squat guy. When I was in high school, I squatted 495.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I was a fucking beefcake. I used to have a bit. Look at huge ass.
Face when you said that. No, it was frozen.
Yeah,
but it looked surprised. Bobby's like, whatever, dude. I do that with one.
Dude, that's heavy, man.
I think I was 190 pounds. So it was a shit ton.
Dude, you were sub 200 and you were squatting 495.
Yeah, when I was in high school. Yeah, dude, my legs were like fucking tree trunks back then. It was awesome.
It sounds like you're a rugby player, bro. You shouldn't have been playing fucking baseball, dude.
Yeah, my legs were still half the size of Bo Jackson's, but it's.
That's crazy.
That's why we're hearing that crazy double bass on that new album, dude.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying is like the strength kind of like slows, right? If you get stronger, it slows. Bigger muscle mass slows rather than like your twitch muscles.
I've never really had a problem with it, to be honest. Yeah, it's just kind of like like I have weirdly like my forearms are like weirdly big. It's like weird because I have kind of small wrists, so my forearms are like almost look like they're bigger than my fucking biceps. It's fucking
so you're basically more Neanderthal than most.
Exactly.
Of us.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, and yeah, I've only gotten faster with age, so it's kind of weird. I don't know.
How tall are you?
I got questions from Gabe.
So
6 foot. You're 6 foot. Oh shit! Damn.
Says ask Josh the best whiskey to drink in parking lots outside shady venues.
Plaid Pig in Portland, you son of a bitch. And it was scotch, it wasn't whiskey.
Oh yeah.
Get a clue, Gabe.
I don't get it.
No, we had a really good night. we had a hotel room, and like I think we were with Ember Throne and Devil's Eluding, right?
That's right,
Bobby.
Yeah.
And like everybody just came to our hotel, and we just fucking just drank whiskey and beer all night. It was I think it was the first time me and Gabe like actually hung out like outside of just being at a venue.
Yeah.
And dude, it was such a blast.
Dude.
Such a good time.
He says, okay, for Bobby, ask where he buys his khakis and if he'll even buy a pair that fits. Just kidding, Bobby dresses well. Oh well.
Wait, you wear skin tight khakis? Is that what he's saying, bro?
That's the imagination, you know. I'm not trying to hide anything.
Trying to show that fucking thing down there. You know what I'm saying?
The bullets compensating.
Can you do a full squat in your khakis?
Oh, well, they're not good khakis if you can't, right? You know,
there you go.
That's all that matters, dude. If you can do a full squat in them, then fuck everybody else, bro.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I might have played a show in Sacramento in like full on work clothes. Like I vaguely remember like, not a suit, but like close. Like that's those were tight khakis. I miss them.
Real nice button up with a pocket square, just killing it.
Absolutely. Oh, pocket square would be too much, dude.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite trial suit, like the lucky one that you're like, this is the one that I'm gonna get it?
No, I'll tell you a funny thing though. So like with COVID, it became a much more remote profession. Trial's the one time you actually have to go in.
Yeah.
But I do most of my hearings and stuff just on Zoom. So no one buys
bottom naked bottom down. Yeah,
exactly. So there's this glorious picture somewhere of Josh passed out when we're on tour in Utah, and I am standing in basketball shorts with a suit to a federal judge.
Did anybody pay attention to Josh's eyes when he started telling that story?
That was
Bobby,
dude, did you hear just hit?
Josh did not know where he was going with that, and his eyes went really wide.
No, Bobby was just saying that he was talking to a federal judge with.
I was passed out on the bed, and I'm like fucking sleeping, and Bobby's standing there in a suit top, just in gym shorts, just like.
Oh my
what a
god,
time,
dude.
man.
How it goes? Dude. How it goes?
Bobby,
What a time to be alive. Joel's right, dude. That's wild how that is the norm now, dude. You know, and Joel's a part of it too, because he's an IT guy, and he's told me about the times where he's business cash up top and totally boxer briefs on the bottom, dude. You know,
I'm dealing with the board of directors of like a big company and stuff. I'm just sitting there just like in my boxers, but I look great. Like on the top, like for the camera,
but you can smell your fucking grunt while you're talking to him and shit, and you're just like, fuck, dude.
I mean, that's how it became. Yeah, no, it became a thing. That's just with what kind of COVID did. It just became like and now there's a whole work from home thing, and people. I mean, which actually kind of makes sense for a lot of people because of like cost of living in certain spots. Are like, I want the income from here, but I'd like to work from over here. It's like I want to be like it's cool. Like I want to buy a house one day. Is that cool with this income? This income looks sick. This is a tight income. Is it cool if I buy a house one day?
I back the fuck out of people who travel while working remote too, dude.
Yeah,
like
that was my only way to like keep to tour one day would be like actually like working remote and then doing it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want those, because there was days back in the day where it was like I literally was between a band, like Decrepit or something, and then it was like my house, like where I was living. I was like, shit, if we have one like pop tire or something goes wrong with the van, I'm kind of, I don't have the money for it. You know what I mean? So that was when, probably 10, 12 years ago, but it just became like this thing where it's like, I don't want to risk. I just want to have fun. I do this for fun. And I do it for like a release. I don't do it for like, I don't need to like base my whole existence on it. And as far as like my food and things like that, like that, which I thought it would do for me in the beginning, that was kind of presented to me like, once you're signed, dude, you're fucking in, dude. You get all the things. And that's kind of like and shout out fucking Jared Archaic. Jared's the one that was like, dude, he like booked this whole episode. He was like, get these motherfuckers on. They're fucking awesome. Which I was like, why haven't we had them on already? So shout out Jared. I
Jared's
was
the man.
I was the groomsman in his wedding. I love that guy. It's
Dude,
like one of my favorite people.
Let's take it back even further real quick. The first time we ever met Jared was in the parking lot of LA Metal Fest, Odious Mortem, The Faceless, a few other bands put together by Ash, who was in Reflux and Sumerian Records and all that kind of shit. He was booking shows, and he booked Odious for this thing and LA Metal Fest, and then we, at timing happened where some of us leaked out into the parking lot, and here's little tiny teenage Jared and fucking Chance.
It's adorable.
And they're with the trunk open of their car, and they're passing out the first Archaic demos, which I still have to this day, and fast forward to, Severed going out on tour with them, and we formed a true brothership, and still to this day, Jared is always close to my heart. Chance is always close to my heart. Archaic is always close to my heart. Anytime there's a recommendation from Jared, I make sure that I pay attention. I'm not going to just throw it away. That if it comes from Jared, I need to pay attention. So that's partially the reason why we're talking with you guys tonight, dude, and we're having a fucking great time. You guys are awesome dudes, this is what's so great about this fucking show, dude, is like we meet these people out here that are just kind dudes that play sick music, and I'm glad that we give the platform for people to hear how cool these guys are. I don't know. I'm drunk. I'm stoned. I'm smoking hash tonight, guys.
Jesus, of course. Why you're getting all
the archaic ties?
Right.
The archaic ties are crazy. Like the first time I ever met Joel was hanging out with Jared, in Santa Cruz. The first national tour I ever went on was with Archaic, and I was having like super imposter. Yeah, I was having like super imposter syndrome, and Nate was like, "Hey, man, you deserve to be here just as much as anybody else," and it crashed through a barrier for me, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna fucking stop stressing out and play music. And that's dude. There was right before COVID happened, Chris had asked me to play 2 shows with them because Nate couldn't make it for whatever reason. So I was like starting to learn the Archaic stuff, and that was when like the double kicks really clicked for me. I was like, holy shit, look at this. It's like Archaic kind of helped me get to where I am now as a drummer. Nice. So it's like Archaic is and one of my best, used to be one of my best friends. I haven't seen him in fucking forever, but Chris Portugal was like one of my best friends.
Do you have Chris Portugal's phone number? Should we call him live right now?
We should call him live right now.
Dude, he had a kid. He's married.
Oh, he just. I remember
he's a car salesman. Yeah, it's wild.
His. I think the last girl he was with, which I think he's still with, but she was like a haircutter person.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sure. I guess one of those two. But like back in the day, she would come
over hair stripper. Hair stripper.
Yeah, hair stripper. She like cut a bunch of people's hair. A bunch of people's hair back in the day because it was like you can't go get your hair cut, and it was like April, May of 2020. We had like big hair cutting things, and she just come and cut a bunch of people's hair and stuff. But I think that's the reason why we don't hear from her anymore. Anyways.
Fuck, dude.
I mean, he disappeared. He fucking just fully disappeared, right? Josh,
yeah, he completely ghosted Archaic, stopped playing music in general, just like
left his guitars,
ghosted the band, and just fucking like left existence. Like I've seen him twice since he left Archaic, and it's been like just in passing.
It's Scientology, dude. He's in Scientology or something now.
He might be.
What if it is, dude?
I mean, then I'd be like, all right, there's an excuse.
Chris played with us. Chris played with us for like
play guitar like
three shows, 5 shows, something like that.
He's a great guitar player. Man. He used to jam when I first moved back to Santa Cruz. He was there like almost like every week. Like we were jamming, hanging out. And he showed me the drumline stuff. Me and him got like deep on like showing me all the drumline stuff. Like why it was like
he was so good.
Yeah,
he was so good.
It's insane. I had no idea how gnarly that shit was. And he showed me all that shit. And I was like, what? Like, I was completely blown away. Like 2019, 2020, he was like, came over to my house and just like, we had a fucking full drumline fucking like breakdown.
It's wild.
Just ring his phone number and see what happens. Ring his phone number, see what happens.
That's Jared. That's Jared's energy, though, dude. Like Jared has he has attracted so many great musicians for that band.
All right, hold on. Are you gonna ring that number?
I'm gonna text it and see, because this number I have is from high school, so I don't know if it's the right one.
Oh no, it's not the same.
Yeah.
That's not the same number.
But
that would be because he's like one of those. Like he just disappeared. That's one of those guys that just. I mean, I remember like we helped getting him jobs in Santa Cruz and stuff like that, and then like all of a sudden like Cheryl was like, he's gone. He left all of his guitars, and I was like, is he dead? Let's go. Like, did someone like take his like come over here and like all of his guitars were still there and stuff? And I don't know. It's probably stuff I shouldn't be saying publicly, but I was very confused by it for being so close to the dude. And
let's talk about no, real quick. Let me just talk about the musicianship that has radiated around the Archaic project specifically.
No, let's talk about fucking Cyborg Octopus, because I didn't have a second to talk about like how unique, and there's so many like layers you guys are touching on with your music, and especially the guitar. I'm most guitar focused. Sorry, Josh, but like no, it's very like the tones are varying from like when you're going extreme to clean. Are you using like a Kemper or something? Like I feel like it's like a very unique kind of amp or something that would kind of like allow you to jump between all these genres.
So funny enough, I am a Kemper guy live. But I think most of our tones from the last record were all in the box. Like I think with maybe the exception of some leads and some cleans, I think they were all in the box. And that was
so somebody who doesn't know, me included, what the fuck does in the box mean?
Totally, that's my bad. So like it's like an amp simulator, like it's like a computer pretending to be an amplifier as opposed to an actual amplifier.
Okay.
That's we did this last record with Zach Oren out at Sharkbite, and he was as surprised. He's like, these sound great, they sit in the mix well. So yeah, it was I can tell you it was the Archetype, I think mostly the Gojira plugin that a lot of the guitar tones were.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great plugin.
But I mean, in terms of like the sort of different tones for different stuffs, there are different tones for different stuff. The sort of mission statement of this band has always been that every song is kind of an homage to either a certain style or a certain genre. And so that's kind of, we think about that as we go into each song. It's like not just sort of like this latest record that we did is in many ways a love letter to each of the different kind of styles of metal that we grew up with. Like every song is kind of like, hearkening back to like moments when we were younger about like, oh, I fucking, when the Human Abstract came out, and like that was like the thing that we were really into. How
okay. Wait, I need to stop you. I need to stop everybody right now stoned. Because no, I mean I am stoned, but I am also Bobby. You just hit the fucking nail on the head with me, bro. Because the first time I ever heard Cyborg Octopus earlier this week, within minutes, the Human Abstract popped up in my mind. And also, I had the same exact connection with your music. There's a level of nostalgia that's in there that is right at the perfect level of not going over to feel like you guys are just copycatting anything, but enough to bring up those feelings that you're talking about of what we were listening to when we were in that adolescent, pivotal formative stage of that metalcore, that new metal for me and Joel, and but there's these different elements of metal that that were giving me this full nostalgic feeling, but not enough to be like, oh, they're just this, with OSDM type stuff that's happening now, where they're trying to mimic old school. You guys are just you guys are making it known that that's the stuff, but at the same time you have your own twist on it,
Yeah, totally. And it's like I think that's a good way of putting it. It's capturing that feeling, because speaking for myself at least, when I write music, it's all about chasing a feeling. It's like when you have that riff that gets you excited, you sort of chase that feeling, or like when the parts come together and then it becomes sort of a song, or however it is. There's that I call it my dancing around the room feeling. Once a song or something hits that point where I'm really excited about it, I'm just listening to it 20 times in a row or playing it, whatever it is, and it's that feeling. But like you do have this sort of time associated feeling with a song or a style or a band that you've heard, and kind of the if our albums have been sort of different, this one, each of the songs is sort of an homage to like one or more of those feelings that we grew up with.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad you picked that up, man. That was, because
dude, totally, dude. And it's so, to even do another callback, I pitched your band to my brother, like I had mentioned earlier in the show, as I told him it's going to give you some Human Abstract vibes. That was the first one I said. It's going to give you some Between the Buried and Me vibes. It's going to give you some Meshuggah vibes. It's going to give you some vibes that you may never even heard or felt, but just give it a listen. And there was enough of those elements and me pitching it to him like that I gave him that filter to listen to it through, and there was enough of that in there that he connected with, and now you gained me and my brother as fans.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. And
That is sick. Thank you.
That's for me, that's kind of the dream, right? Like, I remember hearing songs like when I was younger, and it's like this, I'm just excited to do stuff. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I want to make music that makes people feel that. So like hearing you say that, that's the coolest part about writing stuff
and at our, as we get older, that's literally what we're striving for and looking for, dude. I understand that there are so many new metal bands that are doing things that have already been done that I've listened to so many times that I just say, okay, I respect, dude, but I can't keep going with it. So now I'm looking for the things that either give me nostalgia or a new feeling, and this one gave me both.
I think that's
Cyborg
the goal, right?
Octopus gives me both of everything that I'm looking for.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the goal. Is like you want to. I think art generally is like, it's good if it's the perfect blend of recognizability in something that someone already likes, but also novelty in something that they hadn't realized they liked yet. And if you can blend that, that's kind of the gravity that gets someone in, right? That's definitely the gravity that gets me in. And depending on
it's like comedy too, dude. Your opening joke is something that most people might relate to, so you can get to the stuff that is more fringe. After you get everybody with that first thing, where
you open the door for them.
You open the door and people walk in, and then it's okay. Now let me show you this other weird shit over here that I didn't have advertised at the beginning of this thing. But let me take you down, and I want a band to do that. I want a band to surprise me. I want a band to take me on a journey that I don't realize that I'm in. I had to. Now I have a machete. I gotta fucking hack through fucking branches and shit to get out of
you're like the machete turns into a dildo, and you're like have to figure out like what to do with that, and like then it turns
and
into
then,
like
and then the dildo
corny.
turns into a fucking 1.5 foot long bullet that you're drinking water out of because you're dehydrated.
Well, you just give me like that would be such a cool idea for like a concept album, like the most like bubblegum pop, like straightforward 4-chord like type of song, and it just devolves into like the weirdest shit. Like it doesn't come back, it doesn't resolve, it just becomes complete nothingness. I like that. That's cool.
Just like a stadium sold out of that one like dude that like smacks the snare drum, like goes like
Yeah,
it's like
I
an
enjoy
arena.
those videos, by the way. I actually every video of that dude I've actually watched as much as of it.
I can't go down that road. I watch it every time I get.
Fascinating to me. It is
Well, it's
fascinating
fascinating that people. It's the only thing that's fascinating is that people are going like this around it. That's the only fascinating part. The fact that what he's doing is like cool. Have a spaz. I get it's like an expression or something, and like, and when I was a kid, there's a big example of like in the Modern Night Museum. Like the Modern Art Museum, it's like, hey, check it out. It's a blank canvas, dude. Check this out, dude. You paid money to come and check. It's because of what could have been on the blank canvas. I'm
not fascinated by that. It's not art to me, but I'm fascinated by the people that are there, and
that's called social media, dude. That's all it is. That's social media.
Yeah,
that's people like I need to be a part of this, dude.
But was it like a banana duct tape to a blank canvas sold for like millions of dollars or some shit?
I mean,
that's wild, dude.
But but all right. So giving things on the
all right.
So anyways,
dude, we're 3.5 hours. What we should find a way to wrap it up.
The wrap it up part is gonna be Bobby flexing at the fucking
I'm just having so much fun talking to you guys, dude. That's the thing.
Bobby she go. Oh, okay, that's a good one. That was a good
if you're good at something, don't do it.
One of these. Dude, you do one of these.
So stupid.
No, that's. I mean, first of all, like I'm glad that you're like not a metalhead that's like, yeah, I'll get wasted and blah blah. Fucking, you're like a cut dude getting your shit done, and also. Fucking Josh. Josh is an adorable dude. Me and Josh, for my birthday, I mean, not the tongue stuff, but
should we all virtually kiss right now, dude? Should we just
end it with a kiss? Let's end it with a kiss, dude.
All tongue.
Anthony is the only one that didn't kiss, dude.
Yeah, I just did that to make you guys. All right, fine,
so I can dip.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Oh damn. All right.
It's
dude. I wonder how many guys in the chat just got a little chubby right there, dude.
I've been hard this whole time.
They gained some weight on that little spot right there, dude.
Well,
I'm fucking stoked you guys are doing your thing and knowing you guys from the. I mean, for me, it was Sacramento scene. Understanding it's more from the Bay Area scene, but I think
Joel was the one who made me realize that Sac was a thing, dude. You know, it was quiet.
You understand?
Okay, and I'm gonna be real. Yeah, white boy from fucking Bay Area. Yes, I know what's up with fucking hip hop around here too. And Sacramento was always big on hip hop, but they were lacking in the death metal. And then all of a sudden, death metal flourished. And then I move up here, and I'm up there, and I'm like, yeah, dude.
He moved to Rockland, by the way. He's a Rockland boy now. I'm
a Rockland boy, dude. I'm literally 20-30 minutes from all the fucking shows that come through Northern California now, dude.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby. Shows are gonna be a real thing for me, dude. No, like for real. Like it's been a hit or miss thing in the Bay for so long. Now I'm like, that's one of my positive pros of moving up there is that it shows are going to be way more accessible for me again, and I'm stoked. Yeah, dude. By the way, Reef, dude, shout out, dude. Lynch, fucking Sibo, Mr. Dude, Reef knows what's up, dude. Lynch was gonna play at the Pound, and then he canceled fucking the week.
He did like one song. I don't know. There was another one he did at Santa Cruz where he like did like 2 songs and like left. And I'm like, all right, well that was fun, but fuck you, dude.
Yeah, he's a studio. He's a studio guy. He's the guy.
He gets
who
like all
makes the
nervous.
music,
He's
but
like,
he's
no,
not.
I don't want to do this show, dude. I'm just like,
He
it's sold
actually
out.
is.
He's like, nah,
Isn't it
dude.
weird? He's like Mr. Gangster, fucking rip gut, cannibalistic, fucking horrorcore rapper from Sac, and he's like, dude, I don't want to be around people, dude.
He's just an
My
introvert,
brain.
bro. He's just an introvert.
Over Bay Area rappers, though, I mean, we got Nicotina, we got obviously Mac Miller,
Dude,
Deltron.
Mac
E40,
E40, Too Short, fucking.
Do you know my wife sang on an E40 album?
No shit.
Yeah,
That's
You
cool.
gotta
She
be
just randomly
fucking
told me-
kidding. Joel, are you really bringing this up to me right now in our lives?
She
In our
just
lives
randomly
right
threw this
now?
out to me the other day. She's like, because she's like a really good she does like the national anthem but she has a really good voice. She's like a really good singer, but she doesn't like to do it for. She's like, I don't want to sing in front of anyone, but she's like, yeah, I did that guy in the front right there. It's a Warriors game, and it's like that's E40. She's like, yeah, I did this one song, and like, we'll say it wasn't like with him,
God.
but like she like sang it, and then they sent it to him, and then he used it. And I was
Wow.
like,
So, okay.
just
we need to know
nonchalantly
the
just says
song.
that to me.
We need to know the song right now. You need to give us a fucking site for everybody that
Call us
just heard you say that. Which I love learning new things about Gorilla Man, dude. I know so much about this man, and knowing this just makes me so happy, dude. Because E40 it's part of my whole life, dude.
We're on the pod, and I mentioned that you sang for E40 song, and everyone's flipping out.
Dude,
Say, I don't know if you know this, but
wild, bro.
Bobby is actually Blowjob Betty.
That's hilarious, dude.
I think her was called.
It's 7. Yeah.
I was like 23 and
It's like 2 years ago.
Shout out Osa. She was 23.
what part they used or
Okay, get her away from the mic if she doesn't want to be heard.
You told me last time.
We're live. We're live. We're live.
We want to hear it, Osa. Come on.
Oh, wait. If they didn't give Osa royalty, she needs to give me a call. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what's up? We got a music fucking lawyer at
Oh.
our disposal now, guys.
Show your card so she can take a picture.
Yeah, I'll
Dude,
take it.
nice-
Cali
you got
Death
real nice
podcast
cards.
versus E40. That would be the fucking.
She doesn't remember exactly what song, but she does. She doesn't want.
She does.
Yeah.
Oh, come
She's
on,
embarrassed.
dude.
It's
No,
E40.
she said,
Oh,
she told me
it's,
one time. She told me one time. She's like, "It's this song. It's called." But also too at the same time, she was like, "Something blah blah." Like I don't care. It was something I recorded with some friends, and he used it. And I was like,
Dude, I so badly
No,
want to.
"Yeah, we'll
Find
figure it out.
out.
We'll figure it out. Not right
Josh-
now, though."
Josh mentioned something you guys will dig. Probably about 3 or 4 months ago or so, my office manager came in. She was like, is there any way, would it be weird if you had guitar picks as business cards? And I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not. So these
That's
exist.
brilliant, dude.
The thing. Yeah.
That's
hell
actually
yeah.
fucking brilliant.
That's super smart.
So sick.
They're completely unplayable. They're like
Yeah.
borderline like cardboard. But yeah.
It's an
yeah,
icebreaker.
either way, dude.
Immediately, it's like, oh, you play, because people like go like, oh, you play the music. What's like, like people like, and then you have an instant icebreaker. It's awesome.
Well,
play
you
the
think of like
midgets.
the American Psycho aspect of things. It's like, oh, here's my business card, and here it's printed on this paper with
No.
this ink and
That is
all this
Bobby.
But
That is
but
Bobby.
Boom.
everybody's handing these business cards that look very similar to each other. Then all of a sudden, Bobby comes along and like, bitch, I got a fucking guitar pick, bro. Like, you don't even know what I do in my spare time.
He's
I'll
not throwing
win your
actual
case.
picks into the
I'll
crowd.
win your case and I'll play Stairway to Heaven.
I'm not gonna lie though, if I'm like actually have like a legit case that I'm like worried about and I need to get stuff done, if someone hands me a guitar pick, I'm like, all right, next. I'm gonna
I
go to that guy over there.
I have the exact. You're totally right, and I'm lucky enough to like represent a bunch of like my friends' bands and stuff, and people that I've met
Yeah.
in my life. So it was for that particular deal. You know what I mean?
That's cool. That's cool. If it's like a serious, like my life's on the line, like a guy hands you a guitar pick, it's like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, I mean, I would be like all freaked out and like, no, dude, I need to know that I'm gonna win this. Like, I don't care about that you play guitar, dude. Sorry, right now it's about me, not you.
Yeah. Fuck your case. Check out this riff.
They're all thinking, they're like, damn, dude, sick, dude. Am I gonna lose my life? Is that cool?
But like, I'm up for murder, guys. Like, is that really
No,
gonna help me?
He's a music lawyer. He's not gonna do murder cases, which is good for him.
He
I mean,
just,
will you
he
do
just
it?
murders dreams.
He looked away for. You looked at the side like, I'll do it.
No way, dude. No. Criminal stuff's scary, man, because like either they probably did it, and either they don't have money to pay you, or they do have money to pay you, and then they're really scary because they're good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Damn.
Defense
lawyer is defense lawyer more of your style, or is it?
It depends. When you do the entertainment stuff, it's like sometimes your artist gets accused of ripping off a song, and sometimes someone rips off their song. You know what I mean? It just depends on what happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, through therapy, I found out that I'm pretty defensive. So maybe I should be a defense. I'm just kidding. But no, like understanding that like sometimes when like things like trigger you, you're like, well, you know what I mean? Like without like addressing things. So sometimes you get like defense attorney would probably be where I would be at, kind of in the same spectrum. I wouldn't be trying to like prove innocence. I'd be like, well, you're the one that did, you know, you didn't do the thing that you should have. Fucking guilty. You know what I mean? I don't know. It seems like a well, fuck yeah, you guys are fucking so much goddamn fun. And
hell yeah,
I just tore my rotator cuff.
No, don't do that. You got to fucking do more.
We're falling apart, dude.
Wouldn't be.
Did you know FedEx? By the way, FedEx, the EX. I didn't know the arrow was between the E and X.
Yep,
that actually someone pointed out early. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, there's an arrow.
I don't know.
I just told a lawyer that he didn't know.
Dude.
Look at right here. Right here. The E and the X was an arrow between.
Oh shit! You're right,
yeah.
dude. That's the whole thing. That is copywriting a certain way of like you can copyright a logo if you just do something like that. That could be a regular font, but you make sure that the arrow's there, then it's yours.
Now you're gonna get demonetized. Suck it.
Yeah, dude.
Damn, dude,
shout out.
FedEx. I will have the final laugh.
FedEx doesn't take any Cali Death podcast merch to your house, but
all my FedEx shit just gets canceled.
Like it honestly sucks. Like I wouldn't have this job if they didn't give me all the time off I wanted for touring. I would totally have another job. Dude. But I work for a contractor for FedEx, so it's like I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna be gone for a month, and they're like, all right, well, we'll see when you get back, because I mean they're always looking for people, and I've been there for almost 10 years, so it's like you're not gonna find somebody off the street who's better at it than I am. So it's kind of like just take what you can, you know.
It goes with everything, like with music and stuff. It's like the guy that the intermediate basic FedEx driver will be like, all right,
FedExodus is hilarious.
It's like they'll just be like, I dropped this much off, and they're like, you're like, fucking bitch, I dropped off like 160 today. Like, what? You're like, I did 36, dude. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where and it's like it becomes like a bar, and kind of like with music, it's like, do you shred this hard, or are you not shred, dude? Are you not shredding, or are you? Anyways, I'm shredding myself.
I'm over. I didn't even listen to what you were saying because Ian made me start thinking of all these other band names: FedExodus, FedEx Mortem,
FedEx
FedEx Hoarder,
FedEx Mortis. Yeah.
Fed Chris Beatty. All right.
Is this Chris Beatty bomb? What was that?
That was real quick.
I clicked the random thing when Anthony was talking, and then it took a long because my internet sucks. And then
we love
talking, and then
it's an Easter egg for all our longtime listeners that know everything about the show. But even our intro is Chris Beatty on guitar.
I saw that. I think on the last episode I saw of you guys was
Yeah,
Chris
dude.
rules.
And it was just one of
He
those
just
things
sent it
where
over. He just sent it
sent
over.
it
Just
over.
like
It was perfect the first
2020 is
time.
like,
There
oh,
was
I'll write
no
a theme for you.
edits.
Just
We
like,
didn't even ask him. He was friends with the professor.
yeah.
Can you bully him into releasing the Dreamer stuff already? And just like
Oh,
make-
I've
Dude,
been bullying.
guys,
I already hit up Metal Blade and
We've
was
been
like,
doing
dude,
it for so
sign this
long,
shit, you
dude.
idiots.
We
Yeah.
since the beginning of the show, we knew that band needs to be heard, and it will. You just got to let a Chris Beatty just fully flourish, dude. And the fact that
He's like
Zenith's
7 albums
gotten-
written too, by the way.
Zenith-
He has like so many albums already written. Like, dude is like beyond. Like, that's what actually was the whole like meeting up of, because we went to a Between the Buried Meat show in LA. Chris was there, and like I knew Chris, and I was there with Derek, faceless singer dude who I grew up with my whole life, and was like, dude, this guy right here. And then he like listened to his music and was like, I want to sing for it. And I was like, I want you to sing for it. And he's like, oh shit, the songs are like 10 minutes long. I can't do that. And I was like, well, god damn it. And then all of a sudden I forwarded to Metal Blade. Metal Blade's like, going like, what's this band all about? What's going on? And I was like, there's not like a singer. I don't know what's going on with, it's like, and then all of a sudden I was getting like blown up by a bunch of people. And then it got on to the Zenith Passage radar, and they're like, we'll just take this guy.
Just take the guy. Well, just give us the guy.
We'll absorb the guy that you were thinking about. That's cool. We'll absorb him. And
The guy that's behind all this shit, we'll just take him.
and then for a while, Ryan from Metal Blade was like, all right, send me more guys. Like every week is like, who you got now? Who you got? And I was like, this band. They're like, not enough likes on Instagram. I'd be like, this sucks.
God damn it.
I hate this shit.
Yeah, social
Is
media.
it talking about
fucking
Ryan
garbage.
Williams?
Yeah. Oh god damn, he didn't say his last name. Yeah,
Dude,
but
yeah.
he was I was basically like, he was like, who you got? Like, send me all the stuff you can like find, because he's like, trying to sign bands and stuff. And I was like, this band. He's like, and I was like, Dreamer, and he was like, at the time he wasn't
Dreamer's
in
so
Zenith
sick.
Message, and he was like, well, the likes, they don't have the poll. Blah blah, and I was like, dude, this is the talent I'm handing you right now.
Yeah,
It's insane.
I understand.
Like,
but
you know what I mean? It's like
that's
if Journal or
that's
you
the
guys
new
were around, it'd be like,
environment, dude. That's the new environment where they have to. If you're gonna make a financial investment in something, they're looking for the views, dude. What's the
me?
exposure? Yeah, that's you, dude. You're Beavis right
oh,
now.
Casey's fucking with me, I think.
Get fucking wrecked.
You're
Oh,
fucking
dude.
wrecked, bro.
Why is there no video? Anyways,
All right,
so
we should wrap it up, dude.
let's wrap it up.
All right. This was great, dude. This was a really fun time. You guys are awesome, dude.
That's too good. Thanks, man. That was a good time. Thank you so much.
No,
Thanks for
I had a really
thanks for
good
dealing with
time,
my
dude.
phone stuff earlier. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no,
That's
dude.
awesome.
I'm glad you got home and got into your space, dude, because you're much better on that mic with the headphones, dude.
Yeah. You can hear my deep voice.
Hey, you're kind of cute, dude. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Bobby, I got your Christmas present already.
Oh,
What?
I'm excited.
Do you want to know what it is?
Do you guys do band
Yeah.
Christmas presents? Oh, fuck. Now I feel bad for not getting Joel or anything.
On the next episode of the Cali Death podcast. I think.
Yeah. We'll save that. We'll save that for the next
An
episode.
unboxing. Should we do an unboxing?
I'll just tell you that I bought this for you before, but it's a different form.
Dildo.
You're not supposed to give fucking. He's supposed
Just
to
Beavis
not
now,
know
dude. I don't know.
anything, dude. He's supposed to open it
You're gonna love it.
unknowing. God damn it, dude! I want to be there when he opens it up. Now
You'll have to take a video and post it on our Instagram or something.
it's gonna be a different Aussie photo to put next to the one above him.
Yeah,
right
this
there.
is the next frame.
Then
All right,
Yep.
let's wrap it up, dude. You guys are awesome, dude, and
Thank you guys.
are
Seriously,
always
this is great.
Welcome again. I'd love to have you back on and just keep hanging, dude. This is
Yeah.
thank you for having
what
us.
it's all about, guys.
If either of you guys are ever in the Bay Area, hit us up. Grab some beers and
Dude, where are you at right now?
North Beach, San Francisco.
Dude, I'm in South City during the week, dude. Monday through Thursday. Let's figure it out, dude. Let's do
Mandate.
it, dude.
It's on.
I'm and Josh, you're close too.
If you're ever in Reno, don't fucking call me. Just kidding. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you ever come to Reno, I mean,
There's
I
like
don't- all I do
Well,
is
I
play
mean,
drum
dude,
spots.
Rockland's only a couple hours away.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
I'm in Sacramento all the time because that's where my wife's family lives.
Dude. All right. After let's get some numbers. Let's get some
I'm Beavis right now,
communication
dude.
going.
It says no. There's a
You're
thing that
such
says
a fucking goon, dude.
no, literally, it says your browser has lost connection with your camera. Make sure you have the right camera selected when you choose an applications as well as Skype's in. You can click
How's it
camera
feel?
button.
Well, you
So
got we
now
still
I'm
have
Beavis,
the
dude.
audio.
Now I'm Beavis.
You are.
How's it feel?
Okay.
Dude,
Thanks,
we
Gabe.
will exchange some numbers and definitely that would be great, dude.
right.
Auburn Ale House, dude. I love that place. Let's go have some beers and burgers there, dude.
I
Let's do
fucking
something
love
like that.
I'll eat everything.
Yes.
you.
Hell yeah, dudes. All right. Let's wrap it up real quick with some plugs. Battleforcecoffee.com. Go get your coffee there. GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com. Go jam out there. Joseph Cali Death Podcast.bigcartel.com. Joseph coming at you with that half off sale. Come on, guys. Get yourself a Cali Death Podcast logo or a full color half off. Hit that Retromorphosis single Vanished. Hit that Cyborg Octopus. Where do you guys want people to go for all your shit again?
You can check us out on anywhere: Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, TikTok. It's at Cyborg Octopus Band. You can find at the Silent Pendulum Records store. That's where you can get our recent record, Bottom Feeder. We put it out in September. Very proud of it. Some merchandise, some shirts, some vinyls, some wall flags.
Nice.
Kit and caboodle.
Fuck
Hell
yeah.
yeah, dudes. Bobby, Josh, you guys are fucking rad, dude. Up, slam dancing happening.
I'm doing it
Dude.
too. But you can't see.
Can't see because you're Beavis right now. Dudes, this is fucking rad as fuck, dude.
Yeah,
You guys
man.
have a great rest of your week. I'm talking to my guests, and I also want the listeners and chatters to have a great rest of your week as well. Everybody, just fucking be fucking awesome. Go fucking be awesome. Go mow your lawn. Awesome.
What's going on,
dude.
everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again.
I don't have a lawn. God damn it.
Go fucking do something great, dude. Just feel good after you complete something. All right. We'll see you next week. And come back with all the things that you completed. All right. Rock on. Cyborg Octopus. Fucking cool. One of the coolest names. Didn't even get into why the band is named that, and I wish I did because I'm a
Didn't get fucking Bobby's fucking his pump on his arms. Those are some big arms.
God, there's so much. Part 2. All right.
Episode 2.
Love you guys. Rock on and happy holidays.
Love ya.
We'll see you guys next week.